fought demons my whole life. Like, I can tell you some cold shit. But my best friend was murdered in prison, head stamped on, murdered. Like, for 6 months I couldn't talk. That's my best friend. Like, I was phoning him his answer phone for 6 months trying to listen to his voice notes. I've never spoke about this in my whole life. The thing is, the pressure they put on your head to have a degree, have a good job, have a yard car and a missus, 25, 26 every man's on every man's shoulders. But the girl, she just looks forward to a happy day when she put dresses on, everything paid for, makeup low. You know, when going from waking up and being that guy running this whole show to sitting there and having nothing to do, and then boom, getting into that dark place and sitting in that dark place, it don't matter if whoever I looked up to the most in the world came to me and tried talking to me at that time. It don't mean shit. The darkness and all the aggression and anger, whatever you want to call it, consumed me, and then boom, I woke up and I'm in this mental hospital now.
Welcome to the podcast, bro. How are you? I know you're a bit ill, so I appreciate you for taking the time to come in.
Do you know what? It's actually a pleasure to come on. Finish the year with something.
Something positive.
Lost for words. Finish the year on a, when I'm saying finish the year on a high, it's just something else I can get in before the year finishes. And we was meant to do it yesterday, but you was in last week.
Last week.
This week I've got a bit of a chesty cough, but we don't waste time.
One thing I've noticed about you, bro, because I've been following you for a little while now, I've come across you. You obviously well known in Birmingham. I know a little bit about what you do, what you get up to, a little bit about your past, but obviously we're going to discuss that in the podcast. But one thing I've noticed is your mindset is very strong, bro, and you're a grafter. I'll give you that. So obviously we're going to talk a little bit about that. So for the guys that don't know you, what do you do, what you're about? Okay, so
I'd say I'm a full-time dad. Personal, that comes first.
MashaAllah.
You see the root of it. I should have said full-time husband. I'm a full-time dad.
Okay,
I'm a full-time personal trainer, so I have my own training studio, and I've been into fitness near enough my whole life, but it became a career like 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
And at the moment, I'm personal training Monday to Thursday. I take Jummah off for personal reasons and religious reasons, and just a day off, and then Saturday, Sunday is just for the missus, kids, mom catch up with whatever not. But I don't work your typical 9 to 5, and I don't do your typical 8-hour days, 8-day weeks like every other entrepreneur that you'll see out there grafting. And I feel like it's a massive problem where people transition from working 9 to 5 to doing their own business, but 5-10 years later, they've lost so much. They've got the business, but they've lost so much in that period of time to get to be the top and running a business and being successful and everything else. But at what price? So
I think it's hard to find a balance, because I think I kind of made, I don't know if it's a mistake, but so I went from a 9 to 5 to I started a dessert shop. So this was when I was 25.
Sick.
Bro, I didn't realize how much hours, without even knowing, I was putting like all day, every day, all day, like for solid 2 years, I think. Every day, I didn't take a day off. But then looking back, I neglected like family time, other aspects of your life.
Can I ask if you're married?
I'm not married,
So that's fine. I would always advise a man to leave a 9 to 5 to work for himself or work on something he enjoys doing and whatnot. But it's easier said than done, number one. And number two, if you got a good education and you're making a good change, it's 9 to 5 isn't the end of the world. They have a good, decent life as well. But the point I was trying to make when you said what am I doing in life now, and I told you I break my week down, is specifically because I break my week down and run my business according to my personal needs and how it fits in with what I'm doing. But if you're going to run your own business and you're working 7 days a week, every week, essentially it takes over your life. And then the whole reason you left your 9 to 5 was to make a bit more money and be comfortable and now be somebody's slave. But essentially you're the slave of your business now.
100%.
And it's horrible, because when you're struggling with work, you can leave that job and get another job or a promotion or complain or something.
That's exactly.
When you're running your own business,
and
you're stuck.
It's different, man. It's different.
No mom, brothers, no cousins, because everybody's got their own shit going on. So you are just stuck in like sympathizing for yourself and knowing how much hard work you put in. At the same time,
That's
it's like the
true.
light at the end of the tunnel so far away. I can't do this by myself, but nobody's helping you because you want all this cake. Don't sit there and say nobody's helping you
Yeah.
because they're shit people. It's because you want all the cake, and now you're stuck, and it's hard, man. I've been through what the phase you're talking about once a year easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, do you think it's worth it having your own business? Because like you said, with the 9 to 5, 5 o'clock hits, bro. You can just switch off. You can
Thank
go
you.
chill.
Thank you.
You can go relax. You're not stressing about staff. You're not stressing about equipment. You're not stressing about. With the dessert shop, one of the biggest headaches I had was staff. At any point,
That's with any
someone could,
business, just to
with,
clarify
yeah,
for
a
you.
lot of
Any
bus-
business,
yeah, yeah.
me myself as well.
Someone could call you now saying, I'm not coming in tomorrow, I'm sick, I'm this, I'm that. And it's slowly I start to realize that forget everything else, bro. Forget, customer service. Staffing was one of the biggest issues. Even though I'd look after my staff, I'd pay them well, but there's always something because a lot of my staff were quite young.
Shout out all the staff that worked for me, because quite a few of the trainers in Birmingham have worked for me,
Yeah.
and I'm not on bad terms with anybody. And
Yeah.
I used to pay people a good wage, but essentially the job you're gonna do yourself, staff are never gonna do that. They're never gonna have that passion because it's your business, and you look at it a different way to the way they are. For them, it's just a job that they're getting paid to do. But staff is one of the hardest issues with running a business. But back to your question, would I advise somebody to? It falls down to like, if you're similar to me and you haven't had much of an education and you're not very academic and you're not very well spoken or you're not good with computers and stuff, then I would definitely say find a trade that you're good at and work for yourself. But the whole reason I had that long chat before this was to emphasize the fact that if you, whatever career you're doing, you need to see in the future and what you determine as successful and what your vision of success is. So if you're transitioning from a 9 to 5 and you want to run your business, what are you trying to achieve from running this business?
Okay.
Are you trying to work more hours or less hours?
Mm.
Do you get where I'm coming from? And when you don't have this, people say that it's not for the money, it's for the freedom, but essentially it's for the money, because the more hours you're working is to make more money. The more money you have, the more bills you have to pay, and then you have to pay staff and invoices. You know what they're like, getting like dessert waffles and plates and spoons and then the ice creams, and it's hard work, but it's so fruitful when I wake up on Friday and I can take the whole day off, read Jummah, do whatever I want to do.
So this is what I was going to ask you. So we know, especially when starting out a new business, because obviously we're talking about business now and whatnot, because we already started this topic. Starting a business, you're going to be putting pretty much all your time into this business, setting it up. So how long have you had your business? So you've got currently a gym, yeah?
So it's between a PT studio and a gym.
Okay.
And this one has only been open for like 6 months.
Okay.
In Corona, that was the main studio, the main headquarters where it really blew up for me from.
And that was your first premises?
Yeah, that was the one by Aura Lounge.
Okay. So you don't have that anymore?
No, in coronavirus, I let go of that.
Is that because what? Like,
That's so we'll talk about that as when you was asking me why I take so many breaks of social media. I'll put all that in at the same time. But in a nutshell, I've been PTing in gyms before, and then I ran a gym. So that 18Y Fitness.
Okay.
I managed that. It's a 10,000 square foot gym. I managed that for a full 2 years. So yeah, I running a gym that big in the hood, in the ends, where you got Arabis, Somalians, Yemenis, Pakistanis, and everyone's paying £20 membership, but complaining and kicking off and fighting. So managing that, just my PTing skills and levels are like levels, and that's not me just trying to brag or anything. Is having that experience around these guys and being able to sort all the problems, because I'm the manager, it boils down to whatever I say.
100%.
I think a lot of the jail term has helped me be able to break down barriers when I'm talking to guys and give them that push and that motivation. I had mental health problems. I was sectioned for a bit during coronavirus times. Yeah, that nobody really knows about.
I didn't know
But
about
I'm comfortable to talk about anything, but the thing is, there's no point me talking about stuff to brag about it. I want to talk about stuff so people who are in similar situations can relate. Or you remember I was telling you about finding light at the end of the tunnel? That's all it is. When you're stuck and you're in a rut, it's finding light at the end of the tunnel. So I think all these experiences have my PT games at its peak because I have boxed from when I was a kid. When I went to prison, you're not allowed to do boxing. It's just weight training. So for 3 years of my life, I was just getting so angry and getting the most weight I could lift, which made me good at the compound movements like your bench press, deadlift, etc. I could box a little bit because when you get big and stiff, you kind of lose that fluidity and
How
stuff.
old are you? Right.
I'm turning 32 in about a month or so. But I say in my short life, I've gone through a lot of experiences and a lot of physical things. So I feel 42, if I'm being honest.
You know, I appreciate you for talking about it. The reason why it's good for people such as yourself, yeah, because me, for example, I've been following you. I would have no idea that you were going through any sort of issues, mental health issues, because you seem, you know, you fit, obviously, you look after yourself, you're quite strong. Even before we started the podcast, I said, you know, one thing I rate about you is you seem like a grafter, you seem like you got your head screwed on, and you've got like a strong mindset. So when you said that you struggled with your mental health during, was it coronavirus?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised because
Probably
I
my
know
whole
the
life,
hardest-
but the breakdown was in coronavirus.
Are we okay to talk a little
Yeah,
bit
of course.
about
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah.
I know a lot of people are going to be able to relate, and it's not something that men are comfortable talking about because it feels like, as a man, you should be able to bottle. You have to bottle everything up. You can't talk about anything, and if you show any sign of mental health issues or you're struggling with your mental health, you're a weak man. And I
But
think
that's
opposite
facts.
because
That's the massive facts.
as
Like
in,
that kid that passed away recently, DP Singh or whatever, committed suicide, and so many other ones. Everybody goes on to gram the next day and bangs big comments on. But I promise you, in their own family, they'll have depressed family members who are having suicidal thoughts every day, or their cousins or their brother's brethren or somebody, and that person's probably even tried telling them. But you know, when somebody tries telling you, oh, you brush it off.
Okay.
But it's so deep for that person, and for him to build the courage to even mention it to you. So it is a massive, I don't know the right word, but it's a shit situation to be in when you are suffering from mental health, because all you hear people say is, talk about it, tell somebody about it. And the thing is, if you do tell somebody about it, they're just going to laugh at you. Like you said, I'm a big guy, I'm a fit guy, so I'm assumed to look at as a strong guy, confident. Every day I have to wake up happy. Every day I have to wake up motivating everybody and on it. I'm like, that's bullshit. I'm a human being. You didn't see me put up anything on social media, and it's news to you now because nobody puts up anything. Forget embarrassing or human-like. Nobody puts up anything that they know isn't going to get ratings. And when I'm saying this, I'm on about everybody. Every single influencer on social media, it's not fake. It is to an extent, but you're just seeing a 5% of their life, and that's just highlights. I try not to do that. I'll be fully honest with you. I try to keep it as humble as possible. But the minute I start putting Palestine posts up or like real stuff up, the engagement goes dead.
Damn.
People don't want to see that. Like bare times, people ask me, no car, no new car. I still drive nice cars, but I'm not 26.
yeah.
That I'm gonna be banging videos on Instagram and kids are ballooning and dying of gas canisters, and I'm meant to be putting a snap up, driving my car fast.
Behavior, that man.
Nitty behavior, but regardless, the kid who look, let's talk. Only because you said that, I want to chat about this. Yeah,
Okay.
you see about a couple of days ago, this brum bait out, so tea ghosting or something.
Yeah, I've seen it on TikTok.
So loads of girls got exposed. Yeah, and I'm gonna put the balloon situation in the same category as this. Yeah, and I'm not defending these people, but I am. You know what? I totally am. I'm not defending their acts or what they're doing. I'm just trying to say, put yourself. Don't always think from your mindset and look down or look forward, because there's many other angles you can look from. For example, when we were seeing the pictures of these girls, everybody's showing them they come to the gym. The whole Birmingham, everybody was on about it, but the liars say, oh, we ain't seen them.
Oh, so for people that don't understand, so basically there's this person that's exposing all these like videos and of girls mainly around Birmingham.
It was mad confusing because for the first couple hours of that day, everybody was like, all the girls from Birmingham have been exposed, but there was nothing to see, and it felt fake. And I even put a story up saying, this is Cap, stop entertaining it.
Okay.
And then by the evening, it was true. And the sad thing was that there was a lot of like hijabi girls on there. Do you get where I'm coming from? So it kind of hurts a little bit. But the lads obviously are offended. We all got sisters and brothers and wives and whatnot. So when they come into the gym and we're talking, they're discussing it, they just have that one mindset, and they're very they've let us down. And you know the words. I don't need to use the terminology for you, but sluts, hoes, whatever filth you want to put on their name. Yeah, I'm just saying for 1 minute. Just wait for 1 second and answer me one question. When you were like 15 to 18 and you was chilling with your mandoms,
so these are young girls?
No, these are my brethren in the gym I'm chatting to, and when they're shooting shots at the girls, or the kids doing, or whoever it is in that situation. For now we're talking about these girls, hijabi girl, her brother's seen this video, her dad's seen this video, her future husband's going to see this video, everybody in her family's going to see this video, and she's getting grief from every angle now, and it's common sense that she's made a mistake. But my point being is, when we was like, yourself included, any of the viewers included, between, I'd say the age of 13 to 18 is when you start becoming a bit of a man and you go out. There's so much things you're going to do at that age under peer pressure, because you don't want to make your brethren look like, oh, I'm a pussy, I'm scared to do that. So you'll have a drag on a fag, or you'll hate a balloon up, or you'll do whatever under peer pressure, but not letting anybody know that. So the girl, let's call her Zainab, for example, who's on, her pictures have been exposed and everybody's calling her a hoe and whatnot. Zainab is probably just like going to school, college, come back from college, mom and dad are kicking off, brothers on drugs, they all beefing between themselves, and the only 5 minutes she gets to herself is to this guy she's chatting to, and my man's picking her up in a nice car, he's taking her for food. I'm not saying she don't know what she's going out to, I'm not saying she knows what she's going out to.
People make mistakes, innit?
Not that, that's not my point.
You know,
my point is, hear the point. Imagine my man's picked her up, took her out, and she's chilling, she wants food, a shake, you're listening to a couple of tunes. Whatever my man says to do now, she's going to do under the same peer pressure, because she don't want to go home. That's dead. She ain't got nobody else to link. She ain't got no money. She's a tramp. My man's pick up a nice Merc. He's bought her food to give her a balloon or whatever else. But now it's that same peer pressure you had as when you was. I've done a lot of criminal activity when I was young. Bang, beer moves off. But the majority of times it's because my mates had planned it and we're going together and we gassed up. So with this girl, everybody's linking a guy, everybody's got a boyfriend. You go on social media and TikTok and that's what they're promoting. So how can you be such a hypocrite to stick it on this girl? Because this girl is stuck in a similar situation as you was. The only issue is when people say, how would you let somebody take a video of you? I'm saying, when you're under that peer pressure and you pull maneuvers.
I think it's an interesting way you're looking at it, to be fair. A lot of people don't look at it like that.
Yeah, but it's so easy for that girl to have just done that at that time to fit in, or not to kick off and upset this guy because he's going to drop her off home or switch on her or something.
And now that video is going to affect her for the rest of her life.
The videos harassed her, and like, it's
and
so
also,
easy.
I've heard that these videos are actually quite old.
Yeah, so essentially they're videos from other countries and whatnot. But
and I'm sure we've all done things that we've regretted or made mistakes, or again been put in a situation where you feel pressurized, where some people start smoking that way because they feel like they're fitting in.
This is what I'm trying to say to you. The majority of mistakes people are making is under peer pressure. But when people are making the mistakes, nobody identifies them. When the mistakes in your front door, people talk about it. Like they talk about heroin and alcohol was like a subject in our communities 5-10 years ago. It's kind of dimmed out now. These balloons are leaking off. It's an epidemic, but I've not heard one imam talk about it. Right, I have on YouTube, but when I go Jummah, I've not heard that imam talk about it. I've not heard anybody bad up or punch up their little brothers because they caught them taking balloons. There's a couple of South Asian lads that we personally know that have took balloons and could rip their cars off. So the guy that's importing the balloons to the UK is a Gujarati from Bolton. And everybody's got to get them off him. So what I'm trying to say to you is, it's so easy to judge and shoot guns at the kids at the bottom of the chain. But you have to look up and higher. And every drug and everything that affects our community, who puts it into the community is our own people.
Our own people. We're shooting ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, I know it's a Minted Mind podcast, and there's so many people that are going to want to hear this about like HMOs ruining our communities and
HMOs?
nitties coming to the ends and shit like that. But
I know a few lads that have started to get into this HMO situation, like they're changing it. You know about the properties and putting them.
Yeah, but essentially, look at the people you're bringing
They're
in next to your
putting-
mum and dad and next to
But
your
don't you think
sisters.
they're
And
gonna?
they're all ex-convicts, and majority of them are on drugs. So
is
you're
that
bringing, what are you bringing into your community? Where you grew up, where your masjid is, that you raised so much money for 10 years to build a masjid there. Now you bought like 15 years on your road. Are they gonna? Do you get what I'm? It's mad. But back to having a minted mindset. I want to really focus on mindset. And when you're at the bottom of that pit and the light is too far away, whether you're running your own business, whether your husband or wife is divorcing you, you're getting divorced, whether you're failing at your whatever it might be, so many people are depressed. Before coronavirus, it was like you have to hide, and like 5% of the people in the world are depressed. Everybody else is happy and buzzing. But I think coronavirus did let that period of time let everybody know that.
I want to talk about your mental health and your time during coronavirus. But before that, just for the audience, so they get a better idea of sort of how you've sort of grown up and whatnot. So from what I know now, you've always been into your fitness and whatnot. It was only about 5-6 years ago you took it seriously into a career.
Yeah.
So before you started the business and whatnot, what was your upbringing like then? So you're obviously from Birmingham.
So I'm from Birmingham. I'd say I grew up in a humble household. It was my mum, dad, and including myself, 7 siblings, 5 brothers in a 3-bedroom house. Mosque at the bottom of the road, a massive Asian community. And because I had 3 older brothers, I think that we was always scrapping, and I had that pressure from them to be a tough kid, be the hardest in my primary school, etc., etc. Met Greek Primary School in Sparkhill, if anybody knows of that. Sparkhill, loud and proud.
So you felt like pressure from your older brothers that you had to kind of be that tough guy?
Yeah, any little brother will tell you that. You always have that pressure to perform on everything. You've always under
even
pressure.
If you didn't feel like
it gives you anxiety through your whole life, but you don't understand it, because it's part of your nature. But it's a big cause of anxiety, having to perform and meet the standard. So if your older brothers smashed it, a couple of my mates' older brothers have, and they're like, it's a shit place to be in. Yeah. But for me, it's nice because we're all my brothers are of a similar level. We ain't done too crazy good in life, and not crazy, but just mediocre.
Okay.
But yeah, grew up in Sparkhill. Sparkbrook, I'd say more. I'm from Sparkhill, but I chill it up Sparkbrook more, and they're tougher kids. And the households and it's shit, single parent households. Majority of the people are on benefits. In fact, everybody was on benefits. Everybody was kind of broke them times, but it was good because everybody would be out and you'd see people, and Ramadan was a vibe, and going to school was a vibe, and the parks were always full. Nothing like the world we live in now.
When you were younger, did you always have a strong mindset then? Looking back, do you feel as if you was always quite
Yeah, but with mad doubt. So I'd be the strongest naturally. I'd be the fastest naturally. When it's going to do haram things like the naughty maneuvers and whatnot, I'd always be the most active. I've always never been a half-performing guy or half-hearted guy, or say I'm down and I'm not down. I'm full 100. But I've always had that doubt in myself, and I have to ask my man next to me is that all right? Am I going? Yeah. Cause I don't know.
Even though you've got the capability.
Even now, bro, right now, people, my bridges say to me, you smashed him. Not really, smash what? But you won, but you still, not really. Because I've always seen people better than me. I got a couple of black bridges, and they make me feel weak. I've got a couple friends who are taller, a couple of friends who are richer, a couple of friends on Islamic levels who are years beyond us in education wise. So people are me, and they have such good mannerism. I feel that's something that's so downly looked at, don't get the highlight in 2023, that people that speak softly and have good manners and good etiquettes, it's not really given its due. And I don't know whether that's because of social media or drill music or whatever, but to be like me, rough around the edges and rude and can't put your sentences together, that's not a good thing, and it never has been from the start of time.
But don't you think it's
it's being accepted more and you can fit in more?
It's not even more accepted, it's more you are who you are. You've had to deal with the cards that you've been dealt with. so you, like you said, you haven't had the greatest of upbringings. Not saying it's been the worst either.
It's been a sick upbringing, man. It's been super tough. Like, I've been there on Eid, on birthdays, with the pillow over my head crying that I never got no money. The big man thing, I'm not going to lie to you. But my neighbours come to school and on Eid, all their uncles are giving them dough and they got 2 bills.
Yeah, but when you're young, that's a big thing, innit?
That's a big thing. And when you ain't even got a tenner on your birthday, everybody forgot it's your birthday. Bam. You just, you know, growing up, I feel like we always just tried to fit in because we were broke. Do you get what I'm saying? Man had 110s, we'd buy fake 110s. It was, why do people wear fake clothes? Just to fit in. Thank you, my friend.
100. And I agree with that. But back to your point I was saying, you know, like, you're rough around the edges, you know, from what I can tell, you can speak fine. Like, you can
I try really hard to compose myself and bring myself as somebody who's like, you can have a decent conversation with you. Isn't loud and aggressive and scary. It takes a lot for me to do that. So naturally, I'm a different person. I'm loud, aggressive, and I don't think and stuff. And whatever comes out my mouth, it comes out.
But you've obviously done something that's worked because, you know, like put your upbringing away. Right now, the current situation that you're in, a lot of people will look at you and think, you know what, you have smashed it. You've reached that level of success that they would like to reach. You know, you drive the nice cars, you've got your own business. Even if you put the finances to a side, you've running your own business where, you know, from what I can see, you're looking after your family or whatnot, and you're able to take Friday off, for example, for
Alhamdulillah,
you know, your weekend with your family. Now, to someone, bro, that's success, bro. But you're saying, I'm rough around the edges, I'm looking at other people. Where does that come from then? Like,
no, so how you put it to me was sick. And if it was like 7-8 years ago, I'd be like, wow, my man's, I wish I could be smacking or driving my man's, be so chilling with the people, going and flying out on holidays all the time. But sitting where I am now, it's like, alhamdulillah, I have mad appreciation for everything. But it's like, it never happened overnight. And I've put more hours in than anybody I know. There's nobody physically I know that's put more hours in than me. And I don't see it as a mad accomplishment, man. I'll be totally honest with you, man. Like, when I started PTing, I was doing charity events all the time. I flew out to Greece and we buried some refugees. And that's after that, charity work become a trend on Instagram. So I kind of cut it off a bit. I don't know. There's just so much that you can achieve and conquer in life. But you know, when you're dead and you go to 9 to 5 and you're sitting there listening to your tunes and smoke a little spliff or have your gas balloon or your vape or whatever it is, and you're sitting there and you're feeling dull and down, that's like, imagine you're 100%. That's like you at 1%. Just say you wake up, you read Fajr, you had a shower, you had good food, you trained, you done everything. You know how much more stuff you're going to want to do. That's only you moving at 20%. So you got to understand, and you got to, I know it's super hard because, like I said, I've been in that shit place and you just feel like a zombie. You feel slumped. As soon as you wake up, as soon as I was waking up, I just wanted to go back to sleep. Like, I was just waiting for it to be nighttime. I'd wake up and look at the clock and keep looking at the clock. And I've never done that in my whole life. I'm just keep looking at the clock, waiting for it to be bedtime and I can get into bed again. Do you get where I'm coming from? And somebody can come to you and say, bro, you got so much to live for and all this. It's not inspiring. At that point, cousin, it's, bro, listen to me. At that point, I had the most successful gym, if not the most successful training studio in Birmingham. It was right by Bullring. I had like 4 workers. I was paying £400 a week too. So you do the math. We was making a lot of money. We were making a lot of noise and media. Aleem was there every day in a different Lambo. It was mad. It was a full-on Mazarine.
So from someone looking from the outside, you're at your peak, innit?
Then I was at, you could look at that and say, my man. And I, in some retrospects, I say that was my peak. But what I'm saying is, do you know, when that crashed and that went from lockdown, police raided my place, even though nobody's there, and then they raided it again and again. So I just didn't want nobody to train there anyway. And then my staff are complaining because they need work and they've been used to that wage. Then, like, I've been working 12-hour days for the last how many years, and now I'm just stuck at home. And my missus is pregnant, and God, what can I tell you? But what I'm saying is, you know, when going from waking up and being that guy running this whole show to sitting there and not having nothing to do, and then boom, getting into that dark place and sitting in that dark place. It don't matter if whoever I looked up to the most in the world came to me and tried talking to me at that time. It don't mean shit.
So you was in a dark.
Because you're mad, the darkest. I was sick. I was arrested by police like a couple of times, but they couldn't put charges on me. And then I was sectioned for 14 days because they can do that without.
Let's break this down because I wanna because I know the audience is gonna be listening and they're gonna be screaming at the screen, say, ask him this, ask him, just to kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've had a tough upbringing. You've mentioned off the camera you didn't really get into like education or whatnot. You weren't really into sort of. So did you go to college?
I was very smart naturally, but I'd never revised or studied for any exam in my life. I passed my GCSEs. I got like 13 C's.
Oh, fair play.
I went to do A levels at Silent Sixth Form, which is really hard to get into. Messed around that whole year, sitting in stolen cars and smoking weed and the usual first year college life. Failed all 4 of them A levels, and then I told you I had older brothers, so I was forced to work in a chip shop for the 6-week holidays, and that's when I started doing youth work.
Okay.
Qualified as a youth worker. I was working as a youth worker for like 7, 8, 9 months, but at the same time I was a naughty kid.
Would
So
you
that-
really say naughty? Or like, what do you mean?
Very naughty. I mean, like
getting up to
super
no-
naughty. No, yeah. So if you go to different areas, the crime is a particular crime. You like Bowlsley Green and Small Eater.
Yeah,
Them that
yeah.
love selling their drugs. Some areas you go like they're more into their fraud. Everybody's into different crimes
What got you in sucked into that though?
because that's what the toughest boys on
Dude,
your block were
that's-
doing. And
So was that like a natural progression for you? Okay, so I've got pressure from my older brother to be this tough guy. I got to be the hardest in school. I don't really, even though you can, but I can't be asked with school. And now you're seeing all these guys in your area that are like doing, all this stuff.
no, I've
madness.
grown. All the guys in my area were soft.
Okay.
So I'm from Spark Hill. He's just literally a stone's throw away from Spark Brook.
Yeah.
But the Spark Brook kids were the tough kids, like Batons and Packies and whatever else. He was not a blend of everybody, but these kids were like the Spark Hill kids. Their dads were taxi drivers and had courtyard back home. These kids were broke and grew up like benefit.
Did you look up to them thinking that's
Yeah, because they'd come school and punch man's heads in and rob everybody's phones. So either you're a victim or you're rolling with these guys. And I'm, alhamdulillah, I still chat to these brothers now. My friendship with these guys is 15, 20 years strong. I mean, they do what they do. They're not the best of people, but who is, firstly?
Yeah,
And secondly, chilling with them, it's just something to do. So if our area was selling drugs, we would have sold drugs. If our area was doing fraud, we would have done fraud. Just turns out to be our area was on armed robberies. So we was on armed robbery, but not like what you see in the movies, going and robbing a bank and that. That's just... People chat so much shit in these trap videos and that about having guns and waps. It's all gas. Like, half of them haven't seen a gun. And secondly, to have a gun, you got to have it in a JD bag. If you want to go let that thing off, you got to put sunglasses on and you got to go sit in a petrol bath and shave all your eyebrows. It's not a joke. You see, people talk about that life, but that life's not a joke. Even shutting mall all day, sitting there, gets into your finger bits, bagging up all day. It's a dog life. So when they come in on tunes and I see sometimes like influencers that giving
people
this,
exaggerating it, especially
people
for the
talk
tunes,
shit. Like, I'm telling you, we were thug life and it was a horrible life.
Sorry, bro. Sorry to cut
So,
you off.
no,
I
it's
just want to
fine.
ask you one question, yeah. So obviously you were involved. I'm not going to get into too much detail into what you were involved in. I can only imagine, and I'm sure the audience can imagine what the type
We
of
shouldn't
stuff
really
you-
brag about it.
Exactly.
So
So I don't.
in
But
that
it's a
sense.
reality for a lot of people, even now.
Of
you know what I
course,
mean?
of
And
course.
that's the importance that we talk about it, because obviously, mashallah, you've changed your ways. Did you, as you were doing all this madness, did you feel any like sense of achievement or peace or if I was to do something, like if I was to sign a client, I have that sense of, okay, when I started my dessert shop, I had that sense of like achievement, like I've created something, people are coming to me and I like this feeling. Put the money aspect to aside, I just like creating something. So when you were doing this madness, like what was going through your head? Like how were you feeling at that point?
So comparing that life to this life now, this life's mad. I get paid.
As in now?
As in now, I get paid, alhamdulillah, good. I could make a lot more than other PTs are, but I don't put that many hours in and I'm comfortable with what I do. But my whole life has been chasing a check, man. chasing the money, need to get paid. I run my whole business, and they know when they gotta pay and what day they gotta pay. I never even ask them for money, but the thing's sick because my members are not like another personal trainer. Client relationship is not like that at all. All my kids are Apne or Bengali. They're all South Asian Muslims. They come to me and they know this guy's the real deal. He's strong. He can teach us because he knows what he's doing. But so you know what's more important than that? 90% of I only train men at the moment physically in-house. I train women online. I don't want to ever train women in person again. But because I got 2 daughters now, and it's just I don't feel that's right. But
no, fair enough.
I'm losing my voice right now.
Don't worry, man. Take your time, bro.
What was the last point we was on just now?
So, you know, the feeling that you were getting as you
so
do this madness
the feeling
compared to like
the feeling now and the feeling then obviously I told you it was all about getting the check because we were so broke. Reading Namaz and having good family relationships and all of that never meant nothing because we never had the drip, we never had the money. I don't care about them nice feelings. I want money. Let me look good in front of my bridges. That's what my morals and values were at that time. And you're very impressed. When you're a kid, that's all you see, man. All the rap videos and everything else.
I'm not surprised because I think 99.9% of people are money driven.
Now, them things mean stuff to me. Like, they, my mum calling me over, making food for me, never meant nothing with my sisters or Eid or nothing. Just needed money. See, now that when you make money, you miss out somebody's, your nieces past her alam, like they all go to Islamic school now, so they have they learn the 30 spara, you've missed this. Saturdays, the family link up, all them things mean different to you, and that's not from life to life. I think that's my age and growing up and being wiser. But growing up, I would gotta rate my mums highly, and everybody should rate their mums. But my mum in particular, because she put a lot of deen in me, but I resented it for the first 20 years of my life. But she put it in me, and if she never put it in me, I wouldn't have it for the next 20 years. But them 20 years, my viewpoint was a different viewpoint towards it, and now my viewpoint is different towards it. So as a hungry, broke kid wanting dough and fame and whatever else comes with it and the dream, when I had my own studio and I was going on, me and Aleem was like in Umrah, I was getting 50,000 story views a day for like a social media man, you know, that's mad. And I had my M3 with my plate on it, and like I'm going Ladypool Road and they give me free desserts.
You're living life, bro.
You could say that's but you could say that's the living life that I always looked up to it. And then now when people say, how come you don't work Friday, Saturday, Sunday? How come you not got no watches on? How come you're not doing none of this? Because I thought, wow. You know, when I was broke and I was a broke kid, and all these years I prayed to God for halal doses. If you ain't watched the podcast, that's all on the YouTube, yeah? The other one. You know when...
With the Freshly Grounded,
Freshly Grounded, talking about... like everybody has different principles in life. My only principle was not to make haram money. Again, from my mom, she instilled that in me. So, I mean, it sounds so cliche because I've done an armed robbery, but if you get the gist of what I'm saying... I lost the point I was going to talk about.
So you done an armed robbery. Is that one of the reasons why you went in prison?
That is the reason I went prison.
That is the reason.
That is the reason I went prison. That was.
So what is it? Has there been a moment where you thought? So I'm just trying to think here. Like you were growing up. You're trying to. You're money motivated. You're into your fitness. You want to be the man. Yeah.
When I was young, I went really into my fitness.
Oh, you went into fitness.
When you're younger, it's just about making money, linking your bridges, going out on the weekend. That has never changed. Just the activities they do have changed. So we used to go. We were very young, but we'd drive all the way to Sheffield on the weekend to go on a night out. And you know, when you ask me, compare the lifestyles. You see, when we used to go out, getting a fade, getting a haircut, buying the outfit, getting in the car, getting on the sesh, driving there, astaghfar, but it was okay. It was what I used to look forward to. You know, as soon as it's 2 o'clock and it's dead and the drugs have worn in and everybody's on stupid, shitty activity and we're fighting, it's a sick time of the night. But next Saturday, you're doing it again and again and again and again. And now it's a whole different ball game. Saturday is, there's a lecture there that I really want to go to, but I can't because I got to go to mum's. I told my nephew I'd take him there. And it's growing up. It's growing up, but I think everybody's mindsets will change. But you know what used to annoy me the most being broke? When you see people who have made it from your ends and they come on like podcasts or YouTube, I think you just gotta work hard, yard. Just gotta work hard. Work hard. Get your mom's duas. You'll do it. You'll succeed. Because at that point, what is the definition of success? Is just big guala. But when I had that, I promise you, it wasn't my.
So to you, success doesn't.
No,
mean...
when I had that, it was the worst time of my life. Yeah. Like, there were good people around me. It was fun. But I've been doing that my whole life. Just the car was legit and not stolen. I've been, like, I'll pay for my dessert, but you're going to give it to me for free. What does that mean? Protocol. That makes me some bad OG. I don't see life like that. I'm a bit of a humble person. Like, so... I don't know. I feel like this whole time I'm being mad vague and jumping from subject to subject, yeah. But growing up wasn't easy. It was quite hard. Lime Tree Clinic made this point not long ago about how, you know, when we were growing up, we were fully broke. So if man were doing naughty things, it would be to support their house or just to buy yourself some nice trainers or something. And you kids have got everything. And you're smart and you're educated and you can smash it. Like, look at yourself. Yeah. You're young and you do whatever you're doing. Is the world's that oyster now. Are you older than me?
I'm older than you, man.
When you said you were 25, I thought you were like 27
no,
now.
I started them at
25. I thought you was about 27
I'm 33 now, bro.
Okay. Man's 1 year older. He got gassed. But yeah.
And I think what you're trying to say, from what I've gathered, is a lot of people are money motivated. You were one of them. But when you got there, it wasn't that success that you thought it was. Am I right in saying that?
It's exactly what I thought it was. It's all them snaps that you see. But it's like...
Were you happy?
Let me ask you a question now. It's like... me and you can go Dubai right now, yeah? And you can be there with your boys... And I'll give you the same spending and cars and everything you're going to have. Is sick for the first day or two. After that mazar dies off. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And the majority of the time, you're not going to be there with your friends. You're going to be there with one of your friends. There's going to be other influencers and this waste man you don't like. But upru, you got that. So that time's a shit time. However, you can go with your missus. Or you can go with your brother. And the whole 7 days is sick. Every minute from when you went there to when you left. So it's not about experiencing these moments. It's experiencing these moments not alone and not with shit people. Experiencing moments with people who actually have love for you or want to see you do good or who have supported you. You get me? I always have to bring my missus into conversations because when she met me, I was the complete opposite to what I am now. Like, if you get
married?
Don't ask me questions like that. 5 years was our anniversary, like 2 years. Okay. I think we was like seeing each other for like, and you know, nikah period and all that was about a year. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not shy to talk about things. I like and say.
So when she met you, you were opposite.
No, when she met me, I'm the exact same person I am now. But if you look at like a CV from both sides, this guy's a ex-criminal. He's broke. He drives a dead car. You ain't got.
So what's changed, bro? You say you're the same person. Yeah?
I'm the exact same person.
So what's changed then? Because you're doing well. You're earning halal income. You're not doing the same madnesses that you were doing back in the day.
I just found my road. I just literally, I was broke. I was like not broke, but running dead jobs. Like see the majority of man on your viewers are working in Amazon. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? They're working like dead jobs, like retail and stuff. So they're coming home from their graft and they got like an hour or two to watch your stuff. Yeah. Everybody else who's doing stuff ain't watching your stuff. So sitting here, me bragging about anything I've achieved or done in life and that, they can't relate to that. No, they can relate to waking up and their mom shouting, oh, late, yeah. And then the wage coming and then everybody wants dozers. Yeah. Mom wants little change. He wants... And this kid is looking, thinking, fuck, Zaff's there, flashing, goes
no,
work
but
late,
Zaff's there,
comes back late, lives this whole nice life. And I'm here, grafting my ass off, and I can't even afford
see, I think a little bit different. I think they'll look at you and see it as a motivation. The reason being, because you're from the ends, and you've made it out, even though, like you said, you've been in prison, you've probably had like the worst cards being dealt to someone. You know, you've got this pressure from your brothers, you're doing all this madness, you've been to prison, and I can only imagine how hard it is for someone to even come out of prison and think, you know, I've still got a life to live, I've still got a future to have, I've still got a job to get. But
hard.
Alhamdulillah, you've pulled through. So for someone that's watching, they'll be like, "Yo, Zaff, like, what did you do? How
What
you
did I
it?
do?
What was your mindset at the
So
time?"
when I
Like,
was in Amazon or Leah or any of them places, I hated it as much as they do. But I would never get comfortable with it. I've always had this hustling mentality. So, I've tried. I'll name you like 10 jobs and I've done them all. I've been a barber, I've been an electrician, I've been a cleaner, I've been a taxi operator. There's too many for me to name to you. So the thing is, I was always active and I was always trying to make a dough. But none of them were my paths. My path was what my path is and what I'm good at and why I'm so well doing so well at what I do. Is this naturally dawned upon me? It just come my way, sort of thing. So I'm training and PTing in the gym, and then the guy that owned the gym, Maz, was like, "You should PT." Do you know Wahid? He's been on the show as well. He was upstairs, so they're like, "Why don't you do it?" They're like, "Why don't you do it?" He's a good guy, to be fair. Anyways, I always keep sidetracking. I was very strong, sorry. So I'd come into the gym and I'd hit all my compounds in one session: deadlift, squat, power cleans, bench press, and bicep. So people normally do that in a session a week, but I do all of that once, twice, 3 times, hit all the compounds. So it's like I'm on gym, man, you've got a nice car, upon car, man. So they'd chat to me and we'd conversation would pop and they'd be like, "You should jump on, like, stop." Yeah, essentially. So
how old are you at this point?
25.
Oh, so you started at 25 PT.
I specifically remember my 25th birthday having no money, like 20 quid, no car, no nothing, and just feeling like the biggest failure and the biggest bomb. Do you know what I mean? And that.
What age did you go to prison?
19, first time, and then second time like 22 or something.
So 19 to 22. So up until 25, you were just banging out bare different jobs.
From when I got out, so like from 22 to 26, for 3 years, and trust me, even though it sounds like a small period of time, no period of my life I've wasted. Whether I've been doing good stuff or bad stuff, I've been very active. Yeah. Sorry.
You know when you come out of prison, was it like, I'm done with that life?
No, it was more when I went to prison. I definitely got close to God. I pray now, but I try to pray 5 times a day. But I've learned that habit from being in prison all them years ago.
Okay.
And the beauty of prison is the days that go by, the more patient you become. Okay. So at the start, it's just about getting out and missing his birthday. I wish I was there for Eid. Yeah. Till it goes a bit, and you're like, wow, this is lovely. You get on the phone and everybody you're talking to has got so much stresses in the world. You go back to read a little page of Quran, little pad workout, watch a movie, go sleep. And in one respect it's beautiful because like every person, including me and you, whatever sins we commit, there does come a time where we sit down and we do a little bit of tawbah to God, and massive part of whether you could call it a reason or we blame is our society, is everybody around us and whatnot, but you have to take blame for whatever you do. In prison, you ain't got that. The worst you're doing is going on the yard and backbiting about an ex-man. All the other sins are they're gone from you. So it's a lovely period of time, and that period of time is like you can take that with you after you've halased in this world. You know that 2.5 year period. I never done nothing in that. I can vouch for them 2 years. I know an imam from the bottom of my road. He's a young lad. He'd run somebody over, something along them lines. He got locked up for about a year. He come out and he goes, "He was the best thing in the world." And I go, "I'm the only other person that says that." And people think you're mad if you can't say stuff like that. And he's like, "Bro," he goes, "he was sick." He goes, "The peace and tranquility you get of being a man. Forget your son and missus, just your own mission in this world. You never have that time to sit on top of a mountain or in a cave and reflect on your life, your purpose in life. What are you actually here for? What do you need to accomplish before you go, etc., etc."
So when you come out of prison, what was your mindset like in that regard? Because you've gone in there for a reason.
Having all that period of time around offenders. See, and I remember I'd done a bit of youth work before this as well. Do you get me? So I'd see lads come in, couple of months later go out, couple of months later come back in, back out, back in. I was in one prison for 2.5 years. So getting familiar with. These are like my friends. My friends ain't uni boys or well-speaking lads, and I feel like from the cards I've been dealt with, I can only associate or get on with these sort of lads. But these lads have got their own issues, and you indulge into it. And like I thought, I had, when you saying I had a rough upbringing, brother. One mixed race kid came to me and he goes, I used to come back from school like year 8, year 9, and my mum was on mall. There was the electric. All of the money was spent on that. Like, he goes, I remember when I used to be a kid, I couldn't rob and go JD's and get my own stuff. I was just a primary school kid. He goes, my mom used to give me cold, the spaghetti hoops. Sometimes for 2-3 days old, same strand every day. And then me and you see and say, oh, my dad married again, my cousin's done this and that. Nah, brethren, how put yourself in them shoes? But this kid is done, he's become Muslim and now he's reading namaz and his mannerism is the most beautiful. You think these kids are the luxury life. So when I was talking to you about how you compose and what I really don't like about today's society is, when somebody speaks with that nice tone and mannerism, it's not rated anymore. If I'm loud and aggressive and I've got my slangs and I can swear a little bit, I'm the man. I'll get your attention. On my story right now, I put a story up. Being aggressive and that guy, he'll get views. If I come out and say, Salam guys, how's everybody doing today? Nobody wants to hear that.
Right,
so essentially you do have to play into the cards you've been dealt and your own strength that God's given you, you understand? Because I always saw it as, I hate being this angry and aggressive and not, when I say strong I mean, just having that. Sometimes you push people like nicely and my missus bruises up all the time and I just give it a little tap. So sometimes you hate that and say, why couldn't I just be a little uni boy, soft kid, sobbed off?
I think they say, that quote, they say a smooth sea doesn't create a skillful sailor. Because obviously you've obviously been through what you've been through, and mashallah, you've come out through the other end, man, and mashallah, you're doing well. 26, you're saying 25 you were broke. What when was it?
20. Why I bought the 25 up is because I remember that like it was yesterday. I could tell you some super hard times in that period of time, but I remember that because it was my birthday. I remember I told you when I was young I'd be a little baby and cry on my birthday. Oh, now I got no birthday money. So now I've had money. It's come to my birthday. We've done a little move. We got cash there. So everything I wanted I've ticked off, and now I'm 25 and man, I'm married with good jobs. They went to school with me, nice yards, Izzat on TV, mom's rating them, everybody's rating them. I'm sitting here like a bum, ex-convict, divorced, nothing going on. I was married before the missus I'm married to now. So Farak, do you know what I'm trying to say to you? And the thing is, the pressure they put on your head to have a degree, have a good job, have a yard car and a missus, 25, 26 is every man's shoulders. But the girl, she just looks forward to a happy day when she put dresses on, everything paid for, makeup now. So we've had these pressures on us from the start, cousin.
As a man, you have got a lot of pressure.
But do you know what it is? Like other cultures show that in different way. We have a lot on our shoulders, and because nobody speaks about it or have recognized that fact. Because I'm telling you, when I was 25, I felt like the biggest failure in the world. Because I haven't done these things, and I haven't ticked these things off. And I promise you probably have done one of the two of them. But if you was my age and you hadn't done any of them, you'd feel as bad as me. And there's 1,000 people at home thinking, cousin, you're 25, I'm 35. And I'm sitting here in a worse position than you was. And that's the head fuck. That from 15 to 25, they make us run so fast and sprint so quick to get into this race that we forget our personalities and our religion and our manners and our relationships and mature in a nice, timely way to understand everything. And you can get married at 35, you can get married at 45, you can get married at 16. But there should not be a pressure for you to do that.
Do you feel as if this pressure added to your mental health?
No, with the mental health, I said to you, I've fought demons my whole life. Like, I can tell you some cold shit. My best friend was murdered in prison, head stamped on, murdered. Like, for 6 months, I couldn't talk. That's my best friend. Like, I was phoning him, his answer phone for 6 months, trying to listen to his voice notes. I've never spoke about this in my whole life. My first missus, she had 2 kids. I took a woman on thinking is I'm doing sunnat firstly and I'm doing good secondly, and turned a bit booky on me. Do you get me? But all these experiences can knock you down and put you on your ass. Oh, it's beautiful because you've learned the lesson. You're not going to make that same mistake twice, and you're a bit wiser. I have a very good relationship, alhamdulillah, with my wife, and we have 2 daughters, and it's the best.
Mashallah.
But I feel like, if I never had the first relationship, I wouldn't understand
You wouldn't have learned
how
learned
a woman works. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So 25, that time was, I feel like a lot of lads can relate to that time, is because you work as hard as you want and you give the yard as much money as you want, you ain't going to be happy. You start shotting and start trapping with your boys. It's an easier life. I'm just going to be honest with you. Back in the days it wasn't, but now it is.
I want to understand a little bit more about it because, like you said, you were at a point where you were doing well at that gym. Your PT studio. Money was coming in, everything was nice. You had staff that was paid. Lord Aleem used to come down. He was like one of your main clients, I think.
Nah, he's my brethren.
Oh, was your mate?
Yeah,
Okay.
He still is, but then we was tight.
Tight.
We were rolling every day together,
Yeah.
like Umrah together, whatnot.
Okay.
And I have hundreds and thousands of friends.
Yeah.
That you go through periods where it was tight. We got to know each other them times, but he was a massive shout out my man and his dad. His dad's an OG, people talk a lot of shit about his dad, but his dad's a bad man. He's done nothing but help me, give me guidance,
Oh, fair play.
financial help, whatever I needed. His dad was there, had my back.
Inshallah, we'll get him on.
Nikah,
man.
we need to get the nikah on, but like, with him, what did you say? When I said I must say I give a lot of credit to him, because when man smash it in the community, they're not trying to help our next man out.
Yeah, you're right.
It is what it is. You could message 10 man who are play cool guys, and they're not gonna come down out of that awkward and attitude because he's just started it. Because he ain't got 100,000 viewers yet, so I'm not gonna go on there now. But he ain't got that mindset. Fair play to him.
No, fair play to him. But I remember because you two were very close. I remember because I've been following you for a little while now. Even my mate, I think he was a client of yours as well. So Sahel, I don't know if you remember.
With the glasses, yeah.
But yeah, so you're saying, so obviously COVID hit, and then you went through a very, very dark time. So was it because of COVID you went through this? Like, you obviously clients weren't coming in, you had to close down, and what was
COVID? Everything just went cold, if you remember. From being active to
so you had to close your gym
to just dead. So the gym's closed, but I'm getting grief. A little bit from the landlord because he wants rent, even though I'm not working. A little bit from the police. They're coming around every other day.
Why was the police coming? What was that about?
Because you're not allowed to open your business, but a lot of gyms were letting man in and to train there.
Okay, so police were getting sent down to your gym.
Should I tell you, I'm hand on heart, God strike me down now if I'm lying, yeah. Gym guys at that time could have made a lot of money, which a lot of them did. I didn't, because the laws are the laws. Sometimes you agree with them, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you understand them, sometimes you don't. But the law of our religion is, if there's a calamity that comes, you can't profit from that. See, when they put the toilet rolls up and the madness is there.
Toilet rolls, sanitizers, £10.
But also my gym was closed, but obviously you got this. It will always be hard for anybody to understand why they have haters. But you will, if the more you become successful, you will attract hate. There's a lot of people that hate on me. Till today, I've never come across a man to stand in front of me and give me a reason or say anything. But I hear stuff all the time. I don't ever pay attention
Keyboard
to
warriors,
it.
though, man.
Pardon?
Keyboard warriors, man. There's always people online.
Keyboard warriors, and you know what it is? I think it's more resent from people around you. Like, he's killed it and he ain't shouting me now. Or he's killed it and he ain't giving me my hand out now. Because you got to remember, you are friends with so many different people, but that person, when you're doing well, only sees his relationship with you, not your relationship with everybody else. It's going to be this guy's bred you for 5 years ago, but now he don't like you now, because I used to sit with him on the corner and we were broke, and now he's the man.
So,
sorry,
you closed the gym, and then is that when you fell into depression?
So okay, you've asked me this question like 3 times, and I'm trying to duck the question. I'm not even trying to duck it. I'm going to hit the question on the neck. through time.
Now, because I know
periods.
there's a lot that you want to.
There is so much to talk about, and I wish.
I think this is going to be one of them ones where I know people are going to be asking for a part 2. 100%.
Yeah, we do. You know what it is? There's so much. You know, when I went on the first podcast, that everybody was saying to me, "Why did the guy keep like closing you down and never let you answer the questions?" I said, because I had a lot to say, and he's obviously got to have his questions, but that was more Islamic perspective. This is more minted mind. So why I'm talking so much and trying to bang out more than what your question is so the topic of the subject is to stimulate the mind.
100%.
So if it was 100%. Business growth, I'd sit here brag about or whatever it is. I want to hit that subject. So I talk to you about the mindset and growing up and coming from managing it, from started PTing to working in that gym to coming to this 10,000 square footer, that 1AY Fitness. 2 years I ran that for. Then I opened my own place and I ran that for 2 years. So if you look, it's been a lovely 4-year run. In that period of time, like I said, when I say I've been battling mental health, and I say 90% of my clients are depressed, I'm not saying it to give you statistics or everybody's out here depressed. I'm just telling you, so many people are struggling with stuff, but it could be something small, and everybody has a different aspect, but some things with different things will trigger it. Like you'll be at home some days and you don't want to face anybody, you got so much anxiety. But it changes, it all changes. But I'd say through this 5-year run, I loved it. I loved it because all the effort and work and du'as and dedication and faith in God, man. I had mad faith in God all these years.
To reap the
I
rewards.
knew He was going to come. And if He didn't, I would be grateful anyway. But that was a lovely run. And then, like I said, what I didn't realize is in these 4 years, I've built up so much responsibility. I am responsible for my wife and for my daughter. We live in our own house. Not when I was living in my mum's and she was packing everything. I have 4 staff working for me. I have to pay rent to a landlord. Then I have my car, my insurance. There's so much stuff. So from not having much to do and being cool to being the man now, 6 years later, 4 years, whatever it is, and everything just going crash. But it's one negative jab after another one, after another one, after another one. So this happened, that happened. My landlord in the house I was living in, I don't believe in mortgages, so I live rented until I can cash a house. And the boiler stopped working. It's mid-December. And she's being funny to fix the boiler. So I had to send my missus up north to her mum's house. And my God's my witness, 5 times, whenever I was praying, I was doing wuzu with freezing cold water, mid-December. So, I don't know. It's a bit of a mazzoline, but it went from this to just... I'm on my own, waking up in a freezing cold house. I'm making my own food. I'm looking at my car's there, but I'm not going to work. My gym's there, but I can't see it. And I'm just getting messages and messages from guys I've not seen in years. So, Salama bro, can I train in your gym, please? Thousands of people begging to train in the gym. I know why that upset me is because you ain't shouted me on a daughter. You ain't shouted me on open my gym. I got married, nothing. And now, I have some decency, shoulder. That was getting me mad. Then my staff are like, Zaff, other gyms are opening. Can we do a little thing on the side? And then it's like, there's so much little things. Wow, I feel like must have triggered my mindset into going into like, let's go. That's what mindset I was in for like 2 weeks. So that I told you I had a little issue with the police once, twice, 3 times. And then from the police station, they sectioned me for 14 days. When I went there, I seen a whole different world. Like I went prison, I've seen a whole different world. I've seen poverty, like not here, in different countries, and it's a different world. I could take you to some places in Birmingham, and you'll see gangsterness, a whole different world. Not like the rap videos. So this was a whole different world for me. And I think the darkness and all the aggression and anger, whatever you want to call it, consumed me. And then, boom, I woke up and I'm in this mental hospital now. I didn't know this. I thought I was in the hospital first, normal hospital. But she's come and she's gone, can you take this medication? I've gone, no. And she signed some paper and she's gone, it's refused. Carly come, picked me up, took me to this room, closed the room, there's a shower in the room. I'm like, where am I?
So wait. I'm just trying to understand, bro.
Yes. So from
Because-
being this guy here to
That's what I'm
everybody, and I got like 30 nephews. I told you I have bare siblings, bare friends. From being this man to literally, bam, 1 month later, I'm here. Explain that. Then I can't sit here and tell you I lost my marbles and my nuts where I didn't know where I was and what happened, and I woke up and they made me bad. That's bullshit. I'd be lying to you if I said that to you. Like, you want to put anger into a situation, me fighting you now and somebody telling me to whatever, and me getting aggressive, times that by 100. So I'd say I'm the most aggressive I've ever been in my life, and I'm very angry and whatever you want to call it, bursting out. But maybe it was just a call for help.
Maybe.
Just a call because my mum and dad were in Pakistan, and like I'm a big, strong, tough man. But I've just gone from being the provider, to boom, useless, nothing. What's happening? And where's one? You know, when people cry about money. One good money. I had a Hulk just when they got discontinued. I had peas, no good for nothing. So sorry. Staying on this,
because that's actually mad to even think about. One of the questions I was going to ask you was, you take certain breaks. I've noticed you take
of
certain
social
breaks.
media.
Was
This
that-
is, I wanted to tie this in with the question.
Yeah.
You see, when I'm saying to you mental health, and not me, everybody suffers with mental health. Everybody.
100%,
But
yeah.
some of us are strong and we can lock that away in a cupboard and we'll engage in it once a month, once every 2 months, and have that shit sad grey day and we can crack on with it. Some people bottle it till it breaks and then they don't know what to do. They just till they can
consumes
find,
them,
yeah, because they've been putting you away for so many years and
Yeah.
dealing with so much
But I
shit.
think that's, as men, we feel as if we can't talk about our feelings.
Bruv, what I'm trying to say to you is you can't. If before I got a section and after my gym closed down, if I had gone to anybody in that period of time, as much as they wanted to help now, and they're saying they want to help, if I'd gone to them then, it'd be like, you're the man. You want my help. You're the man.
And everyone
You're
comes
the
to
one
you,
fixing
innit?
everybody's
Yeah,
lives.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
doing this. You're the. You know. So now, how can we help you?
Can I go back to, so you say you got sectioned. Was there any specific event that happened for you to get sectioned?
Yeah. So, first time, I was outside my house. In Corona, I didn't want to stay at home inside my house, so I'm getting out. I'm going for very long runs.
Okay.
And when I'm coming back from runs, I'm just chilling. I got a drive. I'm chilling in my car on my drive. So police would come. And the neighbours have called us and you're sitting outside the house. And I'm just...
The police would come just because you're standing outside the house.
You don't know about in coronavirus, nobody came out their house.
Okay,
Everybody
okay.
was in their house,
Yeah.
not stepping out.
Okay.
I'm coming out, I'm going for a long run,
Run,
and
okay.
like a 5-mile run. Coming back, I'm battered, but I don't want to go inside the house.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
Everybody's stuck in their house. There's nothing for me in that house. When I'm chilling in my car, the neighbours will call in it. I'm on my phone or doing whatever. Why is he doing outside? He's going to pass the disease on. Somebody's going to die. No. Phone the dead land. And they didn't know what they were doing themselves. But I know I don't know. I've always had this. I don't fear anybody but God. I'm a man who don't just say it, I mean it. You get me? So, boom. I just get a bit aggy when I see feds. So we kicked off that first time. And then they know now who I am. They've come a couple of days later, like 4 or 5 days later. It's evening time. It's like 3 in the morning. Some lads have pulled up in a van and they're going to rob a crop. You know, the Buddha houses, yeah, Buddha grow. And I'm outside my yard. I've started kicking off, going on crazy, saying, nah. I'm seeing them running down the road in machetes and that, yeah. So I've kicked off a scene and diverted them for them to jump back. But they were going to beat me up as well, but I'd avoided that. They've jumped in the van and they've gone. When feds are landed, they've like, what's this nuisance you've just caused? And you had a knife and you had this, that, the other. So they've come into my yard, took the door off, got very aggressive. I got aggressive back as well. But like both first time nothing happened. Second time they took me police station. It's the third time. The third time they arrested me, I think I was by my mum's yard. Yeah. When they took me to the police station, I was just kicking off with this. The guy that arrested me because he was an operator. I'm just kicking off with him, and then that's it. We came to I was in a cell for like 3 days, and like I said to you, from the cell I woke up in the mental hospital.
Why the mental hospital though?
Because so many people suffer from mental health that when you go to a police station now, it depends what you've been charged for. But when you see, when you go to the custody sergeant, I've been arrested so many times, it's like a second nature, this is for me. When you go to the custody sergeant, nobody goes on sick. Because this guy is just checking you in. So it's your arresting police officer and it's you, and he just takes your details. But because I was kicking off with this guy here, that guy, every guy, everybody, they go, Putter, he's got some problems. Take him there. The indicators, innit? So when people get sectioned, their family will ring and say he's acting mad out of character. And they'll section you for so many reasons. And you have a 14-day review for them to actually section you down or not. So I had my 14 days, and they put some mad evidence from when I got locked up for an armed robbery, and there was gunpowder found in my forensics. So 10 years ago, they used this, and it's got no relevance in it, but I didn't get section slammed down on some mad medication. I was on medication. 14 days I had done, and I was meant to be released, but they didn't. They kept me there for another 7 days. And then
what did they do in the? What?
Oh, it's horrible, man. The mental hospital is horrible, man. Like, I've heard there's little bits and bats of it on TikTok and that, yeah. But like
the mental hospital would make someone go mental, bro.
Family, you know, like, see, when we was growing up and you hear about Chiril and Jane and all of that, and we didn't want to believe it, and we know it's bullshit, but because there's some aspect of Islam in that you might want to, it's all gas. This, you physically can see madnesses that will throw you, man.
So you're there now, yeah?
I'm with a man and he's telling me my mom's name, my sister's name. I've never met him in my life before. I've met a guy over there, yeah, he's African, he only speaks English, and he's talking to me in Arabic, and they say he's never spoken Arabic before. Do you know what he's trying to say? And he said to me, Majnoon, Kuffar, this crazy, bruv. I don't even know if you should be putting this sort of stuff out on the podcast, but you know what it is? It's mad. You know, if you've gone through something in life, a next man will relate to you. So everybody in here do you know how many people from our communities are on mental health medication?
I can imagine.
Do you know?
No.
A massive percentage.
Okay.
So many people are going to be watching this and be like, nah, he's speaking up for us. You know, when they go mad, why do people say they're mad? Because they talk about conspiracy theories and they get too deep into lyrics like Tupac and Biggie and Eminem. But what I'm saying to you is, be sober one day, fresh, out your head, fully clean, tidy, wuzu, everything, and get one old tune out. And when you listen to it and take the lyrics out and you give your mind that time to understand what this guy is saying, it fries your brain because you can't explain that. How did this guy know this 15, 20 years ago? So, and the conspiracy theories, obviously we know where our social media is so covered up and whatnot. So I think
to believe. Like,
when man have got mental health problems and they're down, and then they figure out, I figured out what's wrong with this world. He's doing this. There's a conspiracy theory. Bap, bap, bap. And they're going and telling their moms or brothers or whoever else. They don't want to hear that. They say, get a job, get married, and keep it moving. We don't want to hear about your conspiracy.
I think with the Asian community, though, they don't really believe in depression or anxiety.
They don't know.
Either something's done on you, yeah. You either got nazar, someone's done black magic, or you're just a lazy geezer.
That's always been the best scapegoat. Black magic or nazar, whatever else. Not like, you want to talk about nazar. Are you seeing what people put on their social media?
I know exactly, and then you complain.
Are you seeing what people put on their social media? It's mad. Like,
so I'm just trying to think, bro. Like, because that sounds mad, you know.
That,
you know what's another mad part though? You've come through it though. Like
bro. You know, when you're saying, do I take breaks from social media? Normally, everything would get a bit too much. I'd have like 50. I answer my DMs every day, till day, but sometimes it pile up. And I'm working from 7, I do till now, like I wake up at 6, but I work 7 to 10 at night, Monday to 10, big hours, doing that, online clients, misses headache, all this. Sometimes it gets too much, and I'll switch my Insta, as you all know, and I'll go to the mosque for 3 days, we'll go on a holiday for 2 weeks, I'll just switch my phone off and go Bolton for the weekend. So my crowd is, what I love about my audience is there are not many new people, and majority of them old loyal followers, and they know who I am. So somebody new come onto my page and be like, My man's like a bava who's a bit outdated, keep it moving, you get me? But anybody who's followed my page knows what this guy's about, and he ain't gonna cover stuff up and make it look fancy for the gram. It is what it is.
To be fair, I think a lot of people are gonna watch this podcast, and I think they're gonna relate to a lot of it. They're gonna be surprised, because I'm quite surprised, because as you said, like, you at the peak, man, and then you've gone from like that, and I can only imagine what it goes from, like, being the man, got everything you wanted, people were responsible, you're responsible for, and then being like grand zero.
So when I come out and I came back home from the mental hospital, yeah, it was mad, because you see when you're like, you have a car crash or you fail your test and everybody gives you that sympathy.
Okay.
So you get that first, and it is horrible. That's just the last thing you want. And then, obviously, my missus was up north, and like I told you, we was having a second daughter at that time.
Okay.
So, alhamdulillah, her parents did help out massively them times, and they had all that sorted for me. And I was here with my mum, and then I made a decision to move to Bolton because I didn't want to see anybody. Like I said to you,
Bolton, closer to your missus.
Moved to Bolton to get away from Birmingham. This is the truth. I can lie to you and say to get close to my missus, but just to get away from Birmingham.
So
I've always had a rep, and I've always held my faith high from when I was a kid. Then I went to prison, but nobody till today will ever tell you a story of me getting terrored inside. Then I'd done my graphs, and people used to laugh at me, but it was honourable work, it was halal money. Then I smacked my PT thing off, it's all good. But I've never really bought, like, of course I bought Bay City the house when I got locked up the first time, and always bring Bay City house, but not mad deep drama. Do you get me? And now I'm just like, wow. All my brother's brethren are going to be asking them about, oh, how's your brother? And I'm going to see people on the road and the neighbours and the mosque, and I don't want to see these guys. So I just left. I went to Bolton, and God, it was the best 8 months of my life.
So he's in Bolton for 8 months?
The best 8 months of my life. Gujarati community, big them up, man. Good love. Such calm.
Did you know anyone in Bolton then at that point?
To be fair, I know people around the whole of the UK, and because my missus is from there, I've been going there. My best mate's from Rochdale, and he's linked me up with like Raju, and I know a few people. I'm comfortable in Bolton, but I didn't want to see them either. I didn't want to see anybody. I just wanted to get away from all my situation and just, trying to be like the most basic lifestyle, but I don't want anybody extra around me.
No, I got you.
So when I moved back in with her, it was like, I have to rate that woman, she's part of the nails she is. She had my back covered many times. But that 8 months was sick, man. It was just time for me to become human again, for me to bond with my daughter again, for me to understand that 6 years ago you wanted all of this, and now I've given you all of this. What have you done with it? Did you learn your lessons from it? Did you benefit anybody from it? And a time to just reflect. Because imagine that run had lasted 10 years. I'd be a different person now. I probably wouldn't have learnt my lessons from it. So it was sick. But I was helpless. And I didn't realise. And they say, oh, money is everything. It is, but it's a massive factor. So
at this point, did you lose your gym?
I've give up everything in Birmingham.
So what happened to like all the equipment?
Everything gone. I don't want to hear about it. Like my brothers are ringing me and you should do this. I don't.
So you literally just whatever.
Well, to be fair, I filled up a Luton van and got like, just say all in all, I don't want to brag and talk shit, but I spent like about 80 grand on that last studio. Okay. And I can't take 20 grand or 30 grand and remove it because that's in beams in the floor and shit and lights and what. Bathrooms and showers and stuff, so it was just like
it was a big.
It was just like I got a van, loaded the van, took the van, put that in my mate's place, and that's it. My phone, everything done. Take it. Now this time I'm up north for 8 months. I'm coming Birmingham for Eid and whatnot, but mad anxiety. I don't want to see anybody, don't want to chat to anybody.
Because you are known in Birmingham, I can imagine like people reaching out saying, "Yo, where you gone?"
So many DMs. So many DMs, so many, and you know what? There was like off Instagram, I used to have way more following than I have now. 5 people that I chat to that I know genuinely asked about me. 5 people.
I just thought you just took a break.
Yeah, but I'm not blaming anybody or saying taking shots in that way. I'm just saying.
No, but I think if people know you personally,
if I put up at that time, I'm going through mental health and whatnot. I promise you, yeah, it would be laughed at. My man would have violated it and mocked it. And I weren't strong enough mentally and physically and financially to give that talk. I was cabbaged and finished. But like I was saying to you, come to like 8 months, and then my mum was trying to chat to me and say to me, like, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? Because it's like, you're living day by day right now, but what, are you going to go back to work? Are you going to do anything? And for time, I didn't want to hear it, but essentially the money ran out.
Okay.
And like I said to you, I've always had that breadwinner mentality. I believe in the alpha male massively. And I don't say the woman shouldn't work, but if you're a man's man and you provide the right amount of money, a woman should not want to work.
Should not need to work.
Need to work.
Yeah.
I love Cam because he's raw on so many things. I'm raw on so many things as well. And I think, like I said, if my wife wanted to work in a, like, if my wife wanted to work teaching kids a couple hours a day, it's not calm. It's like, if you really want to and you're going to benefit somebody from doing it, then do it.
Okay.
But anyway, not Joe, to get out the house and make that routine.
A lot of girls would argue when it comes to topics like this is they get bored, you know, they go mental at home, but essentially they'd be bored. They want to live their own life. A lot of girls would argue that they want to have some sort of independence. They don't want to depend fully on their husband, but then they want their husband to feel so many other rights. There's so many things.
Look, what it is because essentially they do make valid points and all this feminine shit, and you can't say anything. You cannot say anything without being wrong. But let me tell you what it boils down to. You got to delete the last 50 years. You got to delete the last 100 years. That is what has programmed you and have your mindset in a certain way. And when I'm not talking about the Matrix, I'm talking about you and me. You are not British. Are you British? Tell me you're British. Are you British? Go next to Jonathan and ask him, and he's going to tell you you're not British. It's the
Technically, I'm British because I have a British passport, innit? So,
I'm asking you, if I'm asking you as a brother, and you, are you British?
British Pakistani.
Hanji. Go Pakistan and tell them, are you Pakistani? Or do you think they're going to tell you you're Pakistani? So, as much as you want to sit here and say, I'm British Pakistani, that's a made up word. Okay. You don't fit in here, and you don't fit in there. You go there, they call you Vleti Cooker, yes or no? Yes or no? And here, do you think you fit with the way we go anywhere, like half commercial or respectful and that, yeah? Do you see the way they go, they look at us?
I know it's, I know what you're trying to say.
So for the woman who's married to a man, first, what is she? Is she British? Is she English? She's brought up in a household where mum was making roti salan and her dad was doing taxi, but what she's seen her sisters or her friends do, then she's got her social media and what this...
I think social media's ruined it, you know.
There's so many aspects to it that this girl is confused. She's not that she wants to go work to be a bitch to her husband, and not that she wants to work to take money and prove it the point. It's what girls have taught her. When I'm saying to you rap music and what we've been influenced to do you think they don't influence girls to do the same stuff?
No, you're right, you know.
So the big Cinderella day, is what they build up their whole life for. They know now men ain't shit. Men ain't gonna do anything. So she'll start working to get her own car, to get a little apartment, to pay for their wedding dress. Then she get married to this guy and it's like, split her bill. You know, what I love about the religion is the religion has massive ratings in the fact that it gives a wife her dowry. Yeah. You know, a woman don't need to spend any of her income on her man, but a man must spend on his woman. So if you're a Muslim and you believe in your religion, know straight away that he's got me. I ain't got to worry about nothing. If he's struggling, let me support him. If he needs help, let me help him. That's easy for me to say from a man's point of view. From a girl's point of view, it's like you said, I'm bored, but my friends work and everybody out there, I'm nothing. My wife loves it. Yeah. She doesn't work. You know, when these women have kids, they can't work anyway. But what they've done is they've not worked all these years. They've worked all these years. They've had a kid and they've come into house, into bringing a baby, which is a whole new life. And you haven't had that 6 months, year run where you've been at home, where you know what your household is, what your vibes are in there, what your husband's like when he comes in the morning and the evening, because you've both been working. Now you've had a little baby, my brethren. Now she's got to stay at home. She got PTSD from the kid. Forget being bored and everything else. She's just at your neck. Everybody's getting divorced at each other. Why? Because a woman is confused and a man is confused. And the men that come to my gym, I love it because within a week or two, they know not learn and train how to get warm or strong. Learn and how to train how to get your life straight. What's going to benefit you. This is why they come to me. They come to me and train with me, not for gym cousin. Because we got unity between the boys. These that chat to you, we got a group chat. They link each other up separate without me. Sunday we try to do activity, but we put a lot of Islam into it. And we put a lot of alpha male stuff into it that we can't show on Instagram because you get thrown off Instagram for stuff like that. When you go to America and they have boy camps to make Johnny, real men is what we do. And their wives and families can vouch for that. So hence, I feel like I'm so successful and it sells so much. But we need something for the girls. We need women to come out. The girls who are confused. Do I work? Do I not work? Do I do this? Do I do that? There needs to be some education for the girls. Are only getting education, cousin, from TikTok, influencers. Come on. I'm not trying to be horrible. I don't like naming names as well because it puts you into a situation, but it's peak. Tell me a good woman that we can both talk about is giving a positive message. Alim or Igya for the boys. Teak, what positive? He's putting cars out. Partying, he ain't putting nothing positive out. You could turn around and say, wait, hold up a second. He is sometimes. He is going to the mosque. He is going Umrah. He is doing this charity deployment. He is doing this. So he's showing the guys, brawl and all of that, but to be human, how much is it that he show his dad on the thing?
Yeah, blows respect.
But the girls are not doing none of that. They're only doing music tutorials. There's a new thing that gets my blood boiling. They'll put a tune on and they'll move their lips to the tune. Oh, yeah. You see, I want to drop line trick lines right now, but I don't want that. Line tricks are older. He's a bit older. I want to fit in with the society right now, but I want you to ask yourselves, what are you doing, my brethren? It's confusion, innit? Find somebody who's to mint your mind. Our minds are polluted. We're talking about a minted mind. A minted mind doesn't mean a rich mind physically or financially. A rich mindset to have I'd say I've got a minted mind now. Why, if you asking me as the host, I'd say I have a minted mind now. I'd say firstly it's because of the experiences I've gone through in life. Secondly, a massive part of it is my religion. Thirdly, I'd say you have to mature and only time will give you that. So these pressures of achieving this at this age, cut all that off. Everybody matures at different times, at different levels. Two big things is if you're in a lifestyle that you're not enjoying right now and you got friends that you go home and you question, like, what am I doing chilling with them? That's the voice in your head that's going to get you to the top of the mountain or to the bottom of hell. That's the voice that you need to say. Why is your head saying that? It's the peer pressure. You don't like chilling with them. Cut them off. That's going down one path. And the other path is, if you need guidance, don't sit there and think it's going to come to you. God's given you intellect. You must go and search yourself. And when I want to say to you is they're not a good woman role model. They are thousands, hundreds. Don't need to be an imam with a big beard giving you a lecture. Could be Joe Rogan. Could be Goggins. Could be anybody. But they say that the Islamically they say an English bande are bandana, yeah. You are what you eat and you are your company. So I've been asked so many times, why don't you follow me back? Why don't you follow me? Majority of times through the year, I'm on 0 following. Right now I follow 11 people. I met that Shabazz Maverick Masood at the boxing event. I'm a big fan of his. He's followed me. If I don't follow him back, it shows a bit of pride and arrogance. But if I follow all my blue tickers back, there's 20 of them. You show this geezer's a beg. He's following blue tickers. I don't want to follow anybody. Allah, I'm not lying to you. I don't want to follow anybody. Do you know why? Because when I wake up, I've got so much of my own things to do. Don't have time to sit there and see what's happening in your world, number one. Number two, if I take my phone out and I wake up and I sit and see what's happening in your world, you're not going to wake up and say to me the toothpaste finished this morning, the credit in the boiler finished this morning. You're going to wake up and show me how much of a fire breakfast you had. Then what watch you eating today. Then what car you got into. So I'm going to be hating. And everybody watching say, but I'm not a hater. You're a hater. You have hate in your blood running through your body. You have lust. You have diseases of the heart. As a human, if a man's looking at your missus, why are you going to punch his head in? The jealousy. Do you understand? Or the disrespect. Jo marzi ho gaya, but
this is gonna be so relatable to a lot of people, and I'm like, even me, bro. Like, I was quite surprised, because I don't know you personally. This is the first time we've met. I've been following you for a while. I've just noticed, there's been times where you've been quiet on social media. I'm just thinking, it's taking a break. I had no idea, bro, like, you were going through what you've been through. And I can only imagine how many people I can relate, bro. Trust me, there's been moments in my life where you, like you said, you don't want to get out of bed. Yeah. Everyone else thinks you're okay, you're nice. But then, you only at that point.
And you can't tell them.
Yeah, and you can't.
Because whatever way you describe it, they won't understand the feeling you got.
So, so if you for saying that, like, even I can relate. But you know what's crazy and I find mad is, like, you've reached your peak, you've fell rock bottom, but mashallah, you've climbed back up.
Wow. I was reading, like, I know Rosie a couple of months away, but Rosie not gone. Imagine, it's Travi time, and I just couldn't hold I'm not a crier, I don't cry ever. But I just couldn't hold my tears in, because it's like, exactly 6 to 7 months ago, you was in a rented yard up north without not a dime, my friend, not a dime. So to be in the situation where you are now, because I was in Rosie, I was working in my mate's gym, obviously on the come up again. Once you've done something once,
that's what I want to talk about. Like, how did you manage to go from, like, ground zero?
Because do you know what it was? What was?
It's not even ground zero, because you've gone from there and you fall below ground zero because you've experienced what it's like
at the top. Why it's below ground zero? Because it's like everybody wants to be your friend when you're at the top. But when you're below ground zero and you've got no swag, you got no haircut, got no money, no Rolex, no watch, no gym, not rolling up to see you with 4 or 5 of my friends. I'm coming alone like a normal human being. Call you up card or whatever. But this is my situation right now. So my situation was good, you was good. Now my situation is bad, you turn your back. And I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna call anybody out on here, because at the start when we was talking about the ghosting situation, the only thing I'd ever say to anybody who's older, who's mature, who's going through problems with their husbands or their children, not their children, but any other, if you're past 24, 25 in life, your mindset must change. Yeah. And you must see stuff from different points of view, only to stop you becoming a bitter, sour person. You must have engaging conversations, and you must have people around you who you follow on Instagram that enlighten you. If you are following people on social media that are balling every day, on holidays every day, which everybody does, they only follow the highlights, that's just going to make you more depressed and feel more shit. I'm not saying follow Islam. Again, when I say stuff to you, I'm not just trying to bang Islam into everything. Islam's so beautiful that if you just run along your life, people will take dawah from what you're doing. 100%. Now what I'm saying to you is, bruv, Goggins, he's not a Muslim, but look what he's achieved, his story.
He's got a solid mindset, man. You can't be like
Muhammad Ali. If you are in a I call it a pit. When I talk to anybody who's suffering or been in that place right now, I refer to it as a pit. So when you're in this dark pit, horrible pit, and you can't reach out, everybody's living life outside there, and you're in this pit. Essentially, yes, 60% of the time you become so accustomed to this pit and relaxed in this pit, you feel safe in this pit, that you don't want to get out.
You don't want to get out in it. Yeah.
And there's a 40% that can hear what's happening and remembers what
you
was
like. You would like to be out there, but you're just comfortable where you are in it.
And that's what I'm saying. There's like the battle of like both sides inside you, but the smaller one's the one that does want to get back out.
What did you do then, bro? Because I want to know practically what you did. You was 8 months. I'm sure that was, like you said,
when the money run out, when the money was done, this is it. I'm not gonna bullshit you, yeah. I knew I had to, but okay. I tried applying for a couple of jobs, yeah. And because
why are you laughing?
Because, bro,
it's like you've gone from.
Yeah, you know why I'm laughing? Because see, when people talk about sad stuff or horrible stuff in that, they get sad and down. I don't. I get happy, and it excites me to have
your reality at the end of the day.
Yeah, and the hard times in life are the fucking valuable times in life. The time you're in that pit, what is the character is building inside you for you to get out that pit? No, we all know what got you in that pit, or we might not know you know what got you in that pit. But for you to build that courage up, the strength up, and climb out that pit, you can only do it alone. No mental health workers, no medication, no family, friends, nothing. So that's when you're bulletproof. Now you could turn around and say, have you got that bulletproof mindset because you drive out the tunnel? I say, my brother, when I was a little kid, I was in the tunnel. When I was a little kid, I can't tell you certain things, but I've been living in this pit my whole life. I've become accustomed to this pit. I say, is it game time? Let's climb out. I can climb in and out as quick as I want. So when the 8 months were done, I trained for a year and a half. I'm cabbaged, the heaviest I've ever been. Fat. I'm very strong. I told you I bench like a squat and deadlift plates. I've put one plate on the squat rack. Couldn't do it. Going to the gym and making the gym membership took me a month to build that courage up. Then I never had the strength, so I never go back. But what I do is I jump. When we say, are you going gym? Make sure you go gym. And like, I'll get my stuff, I'll jump in the car and I'll go by the gym, but not go in. Yeah. Wait that hour and come back. No, this is what I'm trying to tell people about discipline. All I bang on the shit on about is discipline. So for 1 month membership, so my wife don't swear and kick off like, you've made a membership and you ain't gone. I'm going there and I'm coming back. I'm going there and I'm coming back. So now what I've created is an illusion that I'm going gym in her head. I might have to live up to that. When I was at the top here, it was an illusion. I was at the top. I was making that much money. I was helping you. I was paying for them bills. I was taking you here. So because that was the reality, I have to live up to that. I have to wake up, go work, bang work. Does that make sense? So now I'm creating new responsibilities for myself from not having nothing. And the first one was, you could say, going gym. I didn't stop praying. Like I said to you, I've never stopped praying in my life. But my prayers and my sincerity to God at that time was at an all-time high. You understand? You only remember God truly is when you're going through struggles and you're broken, you're on your arse. We really do neglect God when we're up. So I think maybe that was one of the biggest lessons I learned from that time. But how did I get back up?
So you're saying you're applying for jobs?
It weren't easy. It weren't easy. But essentially, first thing is I got myself into the gym. Then my missus would always ask me, like, are you gonna work again? What are you gonna do? So I'm on Indeed. And I've put my CV together. I've got no qualifications. I've got youth work. I've done so many in prison. I'm a qualified hairdresser. I'm all these things, but I've got no paperwork. I left Birmingham and khalas. Got nothing with me. I haven't got my PT qualifications. I've got nothing. So guess what job I've got offered? Working in a chicken shop. And I'm thinking, he's saying £170 for 4 days, which I'm actually considering doing. This is a guy that used to make that in an hour. Less than an hour, yeah? This is my week wage, including petrol. So I've gone home and I chatted to the missus. She's like, you know what? Go back to Birmingham and try the PT thing once more. I've let my grams been off for a year. I'm fat. I can't do it. It's dead. Just let that go. It's a new chapter of our life right now. Should I just give it one pop? What are you going to lose? Come back to Birmingham, yeah? And I told you, and I'll say this out loud on the podcast, I had a lot of friends, a lot of influencer friends, a lot of rich friends. The ones that were my friends before the come up were still my brethren now. The majority of the bands from that time didn't shout me, and I don't. There's no love and there's no hate. Keep you stepping. But Aleem's dad, see, this is what I'm saying. People love talking shit about people. He shouted me, asked me, I'm very glad to hear you back. Do you need money? What do you need? Come see me. That's what you need to hear sometimes, to pull you through the roof. I've come back to Birmingham. Somebody very close to us from the manor passed away. Everybody was upset over it, yeah. And he's very well known. So say, I'm okay. This guy's okay. That guy's okay. The gym I first started in, the one I told you, the 10,000 square footer, that's where my original come up was. So when I'm chatting to my brother and two of my brothers, like, that's where you need to go, back to the start. But being in the industry so many, I've created friendships with all the other gyms as well. Yeah. When I'm chatting to them times, I'm the man, I'm Zaff the PT, I'm putting up in the Emmas. Now I'm not that guy. So I didn't expect that. I thought they would be like, yeah, Zaff, love, yeah, no problem, whatever you want. Like normal, it wasn't that. And the guy that owns that one, Ibi from One Night Fitness, I chatted to him, and I'm like, this is where I come up from. I'm on my ass, everything's happened, bam. He's a bit of an OG character from back in the days. He's like, safe, come back, start PTing whenever you wanna, but you're not the top dog no more. So you're paying £30. £30, they all got to pay for their memberships and £5 a session. So I'm thinking, if I do 10 people today, 10 people tomorrow, 10 people the day after, I'll just give you 2 bills for each person I'm training. But this is the reality of a personal trainer. Do you understand?
Okay,
I'm not Zaff, that man no more.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I was super wounded when my man said that to me, only because I thought we had a different relationship. You get me? But it's minor. Because if he gave me the opportunity now, I would have to be obliged to return that favour for years. And I have that mindset that man, I've done a little small thing for me. I've gone out my way to repay it. I'm just being brought up like that. So my man kind of, that did not, that like, I came to Birmingham and I was meant to start this week, but that knocked me. So I went back for another 2 weeks.
Yeah, so you thought, okay,
I'm going to go back and then we'll quickly find a gym and then we'll just, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but we need to make the first move first.
Yeah.
There's another gym. There's another gym around the corner called Stevie B's, yeah. And Arif from him and his little brother Bay man people don't like successful or rich people. I don't know if they're likable or not likable guys. I know them okay personally, they're cool guys. I've gone down to their gym, fair play. My man's gone. I think they were surprised to see that you've been killing it so much and then you come in here. But they showed love. They go, the place is here. Do whatever you want to do. Then another gym. So now it's gone from like the gym I wanted to PT in the bad boy place and I would have flew back up is not having me. But these guys have kept a bit of loyalty and they calm so I can go into any one of them. And I went into the Muscle Club. My mate Dean owns that only because it was the most quiet place. Other places were popping. And I didn't want to go back in, bit fat, bit weak.
Were you self-conscious at that point?
Very. Because I've always been shredded, strong,
I think that's what
calmed up, full clients. Now I've got no clients, no garms, no shape, nothing, no confidence. So I went into this gym, I'm telling you, only because it's like 2 roads away from my mum's house. And I was staying at my mum's, my missus and kids are still up north, yeah?
Okay.
But see, when I say sacrifices and shit like this, I don't need to sit here and tell you about sacrifices. But a dad and a brother and a husband, they make sacrifices you lot don't see, man. But anyway, I've come back to Birmingham the 2 weeks after. In these 2 weeks, JR, you know what? If there's one man I want to give big ratings to, the whole podcast, and I do chat to him. See what I mean by when man say, why didn't you with Aleem? Why didn't you with this guy? When I came back to Birmingham, this man helped me massively, you know, with the encouraging words and stuff, and kind of done near enough everything to get me into the first session. JOFC. Do you follow him on Instagram? JOFC.
No, but he sounds like he needs a
follow. Everybody watching this, follow him.
Let me do it now. Let me see.
Nah, the kid's a solid kid, man.
JOFC.
You see, from 3-4 years ago, me telling him seeing me say, Zaff, how you doing it? What you doing? And I'm kind of giving the pointers and the tips. To 3 years later, this geezer.
I'll have to get it off you in a bit.
I'll give it to him when we finish. But what I'm saying is, look how mad that is. 3 years ago, he's a little YG asking me, Zaff, how did you do it? How do you close? How do you do it? And I'm telling him and Sam and this guy and that guy. A couple of years later, you lot are killing it. They're all killing it in the fitness industry. It's lovely. But he helped me when I came back. And I didn't want to ask him, but he's like, yo, where did you go? What happened? Bam. Yeah, I'll get you into the gym now. You decline. Bam. And I'm like, that's all you need. One man to show a little bit of love and you're good. Then you can run.
Yeah.
But you know when you got nobody there backing you, it's confidence. It's a lack of confidence.
So
Alhamdulillah be praised. The years I did do the PT and I had built up a client base, number one, a reputation, number two, and I'm just very good at what I do. So within 4 or 5 weeks, full house.
Yeah.
I'm PTing more people than they got memberships in the gym. But it's not that guy Zaff no more. This one is not putting nothing on his story, just what he's trained on today and a couple of his clients, and that's it. There's no banter. I'm not putting my where I'm going out and here and there. None of it. So I come back in, and the people that were following was like, "Your Gram's dead, bro. You just put in like pure gym stuff. Like you don't put your face on." I haven't put my face in a long time. I don't wanna talk to the camera. What have I got to say to you lot? When I was the man and I'm up and I'm positive and I tell you, let's go get it. Now I've got nothing to say. So it was a good 6 months in my man's gym where I built my confidence back up to where it was, my physique to back up to where it was, my finances back to where there was, my respect, because that's a massive factor as well to where it was. Then my missus got the house. She then moved back to Birmingham. I open my new studio in town. It's sick. It is
We'll have to come
sick.
check it out, man.
Yeah, man. We can do the second
I think we'll
one
do
day.
this one, yeah.
But the gym is, alhamdulillah, I really, really like the way we've done the gym up. We've got like these men. Normally we do a 16-week challenge and they come and go. These guys don't want to leave. They go, we're here, we're not going anywhere. So
You know what, like Zaff, like I'll give you props, man. Like I respect it because I can only imagine, like you said, you know, going from like the top, going below ground zero.
you know, growing up broke wasn't as bad as being rich and then going
yeah, that's
broke.
what I'm saying.
Having
That's
rich
probably
friends
harder.
and then going broke, having influence, and it's not probably harder. It's probably the hardest thing in the fucking world. Let me tell you, that's rock bottom. That's what that Ibi said to me. He was like, "Zaff, not many people, yeah, that have been through what you've been through
That's what I'm
this
saying,
second
yeah,
time,
yeah, yeah.
but the man who have done it are peed and their brains on a different wave."
I reckon now you can relate to your clients better.
Yes.
You can. It's like it kind of gives you that thick skin now. Like if you can get through that, bro, you can get through anything.
Yeah, of course.
Do you get what I mean?
But the key point of the whole thing I'm going to tell you is, firstly, I said, like, what's the opposite of a minted mind is a polluted mind. So you'll never have a minted mind if your mind's polluted. And it'll be polluted to a certain degree because of what we have access to on a daily basis. However, to keep your mind mint, you got to keep it fresh. You're not going to buy fruit, put it in a bowl and leave it there. You got to put the lemon juice on top. You got to change it every so often, peel the skin off. So to keep your mind mint, the key, you find whatever ways work for you. But two things I think that work massively for me is find somebody in your industry who you look up to, not as a person, their work rate, and you rate their work rate. It makes you feel always, if you've done 110% effort, I ain't performed enough. Always have that one person that's going to motivate you. The second thing is nobody's going to help you, regardless. When it comes to the crunch, they'll give you a bit of money, they'll pick you and drop you off there, but you have to do it by yourself. So don't lie to yourself. If you're not going to do it, don't do it. Don't say, I'm gonna get it done, or don't get it done, but nobody's going to do it for you. It's you, essentially yourself. Find somebody or have something that will motivate you. Know that you've got to get it done yourself. But the key thing that will actually, when people say, what's success? Define success. Is success having money? Success is the image you had in your head as a child of what you're going to achieve when you're an adult. Makes sense? Or you being an adult and reflecting on your life and saying, I'm very satisfied with what I've achieved in life and what I'm doing and the path I'm on. If you're not satisfied with the path you're on and you're not walking down the path you want to walk, then you've not achieved any success. However, if you had goals to be on top of the world at a certain age and you hit that, that's not true success because you've lost yourself. So success is, I'd say, at a point where you're just the main, it sounds cliche, but your mom's cool with you, your missus is cool with you, your kids are cool with you. They're way more important than the client, man. Do you understand? You find another client, you're not going to replace these people here. So discipline. And when I'm saying this and you're like, oh, he's like same Joe Rogan shit. They say 1-2 words, but they don't explain how to do it.
Yeah.
Discipline is waking up for Fajr in the morning. You remember when we was kids, they said, oh, you can lift the bench 100, but you can't take your blanket off. That's bullshit. I'm not taking my blanket off because I'm not strong enough. It's because it's cold. I got in late. I'm tired. I'm not. Do you understand? Isha time, man, I'm tired finishing work. Namaz is an example. When I'm saying discipline, I mean like...
Even when you don't feel like doing it, you got to do
you have a routine of what you do. So if it was 2 o'clock and I had to drink this today, I want to drink it tomorrow, no, I will drink it. If I had this, wear a black hat on Monday and a grey on Tuesday and a black on Wednesday, I have to do that. If I was meant to wear them clothes, and you create discipline and an order, what that cuts off is I'll do it tomorrow. Or shall I do that or shall I not do that? It cuts that off. You don't have time for that. And the discipline will push you always in the right direction.
I think discipline is one of the key things, man.
Because motivation comes and goes.
You can't depend on motivation.
The guy that is depressed is watching this and thinking, and then tomorrow, I lost. The discipline is what will put that into action and what will give you more motivation day by day by day. So when I said to you, I went to the gym, I trained one day, the next day I did it, the next day I did it, the next day I did, The next day I didn't. The next day I did. I still went there every day. Put my gym clothes on. Got my water bottle. You could say you were cheating yourself and not going in. And who was I cheating? Myself. Now when I'm sitting in this depression hole, feeling sorry for myself, who am I cheating then? Do you get where I'm coming from?
Accountability as well.
You gotta beat yourself up sometimes. You gotta pick yourself up sometimes. You gotta shout at yourself sometimes. You gotta praise yourself sometimes. But I personally don't think I'm aware and still aware of how far I've come in social media's definition of success. Only because my daughter turned 3 on Christmas Day, and me and my missus, it's really hard for us to register that we've got 2 girls, man.
Yeah,
it's surreal. That life used to be surreal, but now it's not, because we've banged so many holidays, and when you start paying for them and you go to the same airport again and you see the same shit again, you're like, oh yeah, this is surreal. This is normal life. But because I was so accustomed and content with being broke, but I didn't know it, I thought, nah, I need money, I need to do this. Is that when I got it, it was just whatever I needed to do for them 2-3 years. There was no investment. There was no, when I make this much money, I'm going to do this with you and help the poor people. And when you're young, you have such good intentions and such
you're a lot more wiser
lovely
with money
mindset.
now?
Pardon?
Do you think you're a lot more wiser with your money now?
With my money now, with everything I'm wiser. If there were any friendships I was having when I was at my peak that never benefited me, they're gone. Staff, gone. Anything extra, at that point, I didn't know, because I thought he's holding the success together, paying so much wages, doing so much Instagram shit, doing this, keeping up with that.
I definitely think you should go back on social media and share your journey, because I don't think you actually realise how many people can relate to your... Because, bro, I'm sitting here thinking, my level of respect for you is just kind of like...
Yeah, but hear what I'm saying. See, I got 17,000 followers, or 18 or whatever it is. And that's okay for me. Me having 50k followers. I remember the time when my gram used to pop. I don't want that now. Okay. Just say I wake up in the morning and I got 10 kids messaging me. I'm feeling... Well, I get this all the time, but Monday morning now, you put this up. Monday morning I wake up, I've got 20 kids. Oh, we're feeling suicidal. I've got 20 people liking all my comments and on all my posts. I've got to give all of them time. Now I have to wake up and I got my 7 o'clock. Who's paying me money? So that's a favour. But this is hawk. Yeah, I don't miss my client session, not because I can skank them. I can send somebody, because if I'd never trained for that session, he paid me for, my money is not legit. So now I've got to come and I've got to give this guy his time a day, go home, forget my whole world, come ask my missus.
Don't you think your social media platform has helped you build your
social
business?
Media helped me kill it, yes. It got me onto a certain state. But to all my brothers and sisters out there who are maintaining social medias, you're lying to yourself every single day, and it's chipping away at you, all of them. You won't realise, but they all understand what I'm saying. So what the beauty of me falling off is, when I've come back on, I know what I have to do. Why am I on social media? And I've always said this: if it weren't giving me my career, helping me with my business, Allah, on God, done. It's a disease, biggest disease in the world. So many people don't have social media, they live the best lives. But me being on Instagram did help me, did blow up. I loved it. You get 1,000, 2,000 likes, it's the hype. I used to drop the Mazzoline videos. So just watching them, and people from Pakistan messaging, and these days, it's bad. I'm past that. I don't need that lift. I could, who's the main guy? Like, just say Drake said, come to my house, let's shoot some basketball, make a video, put your gram. Your gram's gonna pop. I don't. I did. Normally. If this was 2 years ago, like, wow, Ogla's yard, my boys are gonna look this video. Wow. Now it's like, fuck that. My dinner's made. Is gonna go cold. Mom's switching. I ain't dropped that off there. These my priorities have shifted. But
I like that.
So these people who are influencing is hard, man. Being an influencer is one of the hardest jobs.
I'm more on about purely for your clients and purely for your business. People because like you said, you're not training people to become fit. You're training people to get their life in check. So
social media comes with a lot of baggage, man. It's a lot of headache, man.
When people watch,
I do podcasts all day.
When people see this podcast,
because it's not coming back to me. I don't want come back
Yeah,
to
no,
me
fair enough. I get that.
and chase that up.
I get that, but you know, your story, bro, is madness, and I definitely wanna. We're definitely gonna do a part 2.
Inshallah,
Yeah,
100%.
we'll come to your gym and whatnot because there's so much more like I'd like to know and get through because I can relate to a certain degree in regards to sort of your mental health and being in that position where you don't want to do anything, but to get yourself out of this, especially when you hit the top and then you hit the bottom, and now you know, mashallah, I know there's so much more that you can share and learn, and
there
you
is so much
man.
I want to do, man. Look, you know,
man.
you know the fitness industry, yeah. Personal trainers, they all follow me, and it's peak because they done the course, they left their job, done the course, been promised an interview. Now they got no job. Now they got the interview and they never got the job, and now they're stuck. And now they're watching my page saying, cuz how do you do it? And I'm saying it's not about the qualification. You got to be in the gym. You got to know, man. You have to be motivated. There's so much more to it. So they've just wasted a year of their life, got smoked by a next man. What not? There's no guidance in it. So for 3 years, what I really wanted to do was put together the course where I'm getting personal trainers to come in and see how you actually deal with somebody and how you take payments and how do you do this and
like
the whole
the
structure.
fitness,
my whole structure. I ain't gonna take it to my grave with me. I wanted to put it on a course and teach it.
You can do that,
it's
you know.
execute what I know, but it's executing stuff. I wanted to be public speaking, go like, you know, schools and naughty schools, the kids mess around and jails and whatnot, and just give them some. Only why I can give them inspiring words because I've been in your shoes. But
You might get a few people reaching out.
do you know what it is? Is one of the guys from Brixton Prison used to train with me, the main chaplain. He could have got me in. You know, when you were saying success, what do you want to define and what's a pinnacle? There's so much stuff I want to do, but at the same time I've got to be realistic. Next year I want to go Palestine. I need to go Pakistan. I ain't been in 8 years. You have to tune everything. The discipline will put everything in, and it'll tell you what's realistic and what's a dream and what you're gonna get done. And I know what I've got. My website, the guy's been punking me, so I might get you to sort that out. There's the clothing I've been asked about. I've been harassed about.
You got a lot of potential, you know, to expand into so many different things.
I don't see that, but you see. If this was 2-3 years ago, I'm running for that.
I think you know now.
I want to be that successful. Now I know you. When you make a little change, you realize that unless I'm hitting meters, and I got meters £1 million, by the way. Unless I got a couple of meters, anything from there to mediocre success, what the Instagram guys make out is all the same. But this is so much more headache than this side. I'm pushing it all to a side. Give me my little rules. Let me cash a yard off. I got a little whip. I am happy. Don't give me the extra headache. It's like when we used to be kids and the man don't want to take a promotion at work to become a manager because he's only going to get £1 less, and you're like, so get the £1 less. You don't want the promotion. Stick here next month. You want to. No, I don't want the promotion. But this is the first time in my life I'm saying this to you. I don't want the promotion. Oigia, and he can work in, alhamdulillah. New Oigia, bismillah. We know what we're doing. Monday to Sunday, we know what we're doing. But next year, I'm conquering next year, man. Because now, if I never had that fall off period, 2023 started, I've been doing the same shit for 6 years. It would have been another year of doing the same stuff, because I fell off everything that I had plans and desires of doing. Oh, you watch me do it now.
All I'm saying is, people, part 2 is going to be going off, man.
I'm looking at that camera there.
Part 2
we're definitely going to do, but we need your questions. So watch all of part 1 and stuff you'd like me to elaborate more on, or if you have any questions or man, fire away.
Are you still taking clients on? Are you
always taking clients on?
So if people want to reach out, if people want to sign up, if people want to get to know more about you, how can they reach out to you? What's your Insta?
I was just gonna say that's it. We've left all social medias. We're living in the mosque now. Zaff the PT is I've just gone to TikTok very recently, but I hate it, and I think I'm gonna delete that soon. It upsets me, man, when you see the upbringing girls, and it's not why it upsets me is just because, is that the thing now? Is that the trend now for you to for that? Now all the other girls are gonna want to do that, and everybody's seen at home wants, and this is it. I get it, the vapes come around. It's better than the vapes. The balloons come around, but
No, I know what you're saying, man. That stuff like that shouldn't be happening.
Gosh,
girls again. This is gonna affect their mental health. I'm sure some girls are gonna feel suicidal, bro.
They
for
do,
themselves.
man.
Do you know what
When
I mean?
they come on, you know what it is? First, when you come on social media first and you start getting likes and messages, you feel like the man
You feel like
or
the
the
man,
woman,
yeah.
and it's an adrenaline boost, and it's izzat, and it's I'm the man now. Everybody recognize who I
Do you
am
reckon you get an ego from it?
massively, but you don't see it.
You don't see it.
So this is coming up now, and then after a couple of months, cousin that used to talk shit to you is asking you for a favor.
Yeah.
My man that used to talk as a prick is offering you whatever service he gets for free.
Yeah.
So everything changes, and of course, it'll be lying for you to say you don't change your ego and don't change your mindset. Because if you're a normal guy, you get
gonna
treated
naturally,
normally, but now you get treated.
Like a
This is
king.
why I hate lift and protocol and all of this stuff. I'm a humble guy. I like keeping it humble. I'll eat with my hands. I'll eat at Nobu and all these like fancy places. When I was rich or when I had good dough, I never indulged in any of it. You have to stay true to who you are.
I think
And I
keep
feel like
grounded in it.
so many men on social media and girls on social media are trying to chase this image of what everybody else deems as successful, that they have no enjoyment in what they're doing, and they're breaking their backs just to wear this Louis Vuitton pouch and just to have that, but there's no satisfaction in it for you, and the next man knows you're the waste man, and now you got to keep up that image.
You have to keep up that image.
Don't do it. We're high tech, we're River Island, we're broke stuff. I swear to God, I had to look in my wardrobe because the other team, they're the plain white one, but it look loose. It's good to show success. You understand? It's good to show, make
As long as you're
halal
being
money.
true to yourself, innit?
But I don't like one thing that, and essentially it works, yeah. But you know when you come in with the Louis and the watches and the flash and the cash and give that talk, people respect it. When you don't come with that talk, they don't. You're trying to tell me Aleem's respect to our next man is the same level. And why is it? Because of the dough? This Amio Talio guy, and he was on the show last week, he had a little issue with him. He's sorted now. But
I don't know. I think I've never been. Obviously, no one's gonna say no to a nice watch. No one's gonna say no to a nice car. They're nice things to have. But I've never been. Me personally, I've never wanted to chase that.
No.
It's
You're not listening
weird,
to me.
man, like-
Do that. Have that. Do that. Have that. Live that. Whatever chases you or tickles you, do it. But I'm saying, do it for you.
For you, yeah.
Don't. If you want to buy a whip because you like the boost and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
turbo
I
kicking
agree- I
in,
agree
do
to that.
all of that.
Yeah,
If you like such and such because he looks it, do that. If you want to go on holiday,
But if
to
you're trying to impress next man's,
but no, what I'm saying to you is, it all is right now impressing. Every single bit of it, every single tiny weeny bit of it is just so they can put it on this story,
On the story,
and
yeah.
get ratings or fit in, or man say cheese hard. Do you get where I'm coming from? It's peak, but I think it is a good. You know what I used to stress massively about the Muslim community, and we're gonna wrap you up on this one.
Yeah.
The Muslim community, and like, I was the bad in society growing up, and you had the good kids and you had the bad kids. We were the bad kids, the bad in society. If you get the like, from what I see now on road and growing up, if you get the best kids, they're kind of worse than what we used to be, like, in their mindset, in their morals, in their respect, in their akhlaq, all them things. We were bad, but we knew how to respect our elders, etc.
Yeah, I think it's all. I don't know, man.
You see now, there's no hierarchy. There's no system. There's kids who are 21 years old with RS3s and they're made, so that's cut off the age gap for you.
Yeah.
When you come from any area, there's going to be a bad man from your area.
There's always going to be a
The bad man has gone his rep from beating people up or robbing people or going to jail or whatever he's done, but he has that rep. Nobody cares. That guy would come out of jail and everybody would know my man's coming out of jail. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit anymore. Now did you see that girl's live? He done Ugla's basically. My man got exposed. Did you see that? Did you go on my man's live? She was talking shit about her husband.
With TikTok,
it's just like, gossip.
Yeah, with TikTok is if you're exposing yourselves, if you're causing drama, if you're making a fool of yourself, people are watching because of it's entertaining. That's it. They don't respect
They're
you, man.
making a fool
Yeah,
out
they
of
don't-
themselves
they don't
whilst
respect you.
entertaining people, though, innit?
But then they love the views, they love the likes that they get in.
That's the manipulation, man. That's the same manipulation as the
think it's
girl
quite dangerous,
that sat
man.
in the car and let the guy abuse her and take whatever pictures. You know why? Because she wanted to chill and she had a sense of belonging with this guy. It's the same with these lot. You know, they don't get ratings from anybody all day. You know, now on TikTok, they got power. They got views, clients, people sending them money, all of that. And you're hating. You're telling me don't do that. I'm doing my bestie. You do one. You tell me that. Who are you? You helped me my whole life. You keep me moving. So anybody who's trying to help them, anybody's laughing at them, they're thinking, whatever. And they just, it's, I don't know, you know what it is? I was chatting to Hamza Shiraz the other day, yeah? I'll finish on this one. Solid kid, I'll show you the DMs. Basically, I was saying to him with the whole Amir Khan thing, I'll play the voice note out.
Yeah, that's another.
Not to blow any smoke up my own ass, just to show you where our mindset should be. You know, they're telling you about minted mindset. This is a mindset situation. You know, because I put it in flight. I put it in flight mode, so it's just taking forever to load. But I've been lying. You know, if I told you what I said, because I have a shit memory. So I'll put his name in.
Is he going to be alright with you?
Big up all the Asian boxers right now. Raza, Hamza Shiraz. That Boston kid, I love him. There's the two brothers. There's so many. And it's good times. Okay, so I sent a voice note to him, yeah? And we basically spoke. He's saying appreciated and wise words and whatnot. Really quick one. All I'm going to say to you is, whatever you say on any interviews, on your Instagram, on your Snapchat, anywhere, it's there and it won't go anywhere. So you might regret that future, not now, in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So whatever you say to anybody in privacy or in the ear is a minor. But don't chat to anybody on no phones or on interviews or anything, because you just tarnish all the hard work and this level you're on right now. People try talking shit about the Bradley Skeet thing, you know what I mean? Any opportunity they find, and Pac is not always going to support you. You get more support from Gori and Kale, but just please, whatever you do, don't entertain this guy, bro. That's all he wants. Don't do it. Obviously, I had to put it at a certain angle to him, but my point to him was, you say something and regret it tomorrow. But it's not where we used to live in a culture where everything's not. Now it's recorded on devices. So you say something, you're finished. Finished.
And people nowadays, they like to point fingers. They like to, you know, this cancel culture. If you say one thing out of pocket, they'll come at you.
It's like, you know, the breakdown of a person, they love it. And when you said why I never made my audience aware of it when it was happening or after that, is because the ones who were concerned would be concerned, but they can't help. And everybody else who was looking for him, guy is just going to laugh. And yes, his demise. Yes, have you heard? Now I'm in a situation with back on my feet. I couldn't give a shit. Like, it's me coming out of prison. If you ask me when I come out of prison to talk about prison, I'll probably headbutt you. Like, who are you talking to me about my personal shit for? Now I see 2-3 years later, I was asked to go to a school and give these kids some inspiring words about what prison was like and how it changed your life. And it made me look back at it as a positive spin and think, gosh, you can give that. But to build your audience up is like selling yourself. Do you understand the comparison? So I don't have no interests in ever building myself up again. If it comes, it comes. If it don't, it don't. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you know where the mindset of where I'm at right now? But the reason I don't know why I bought his recording only to say, like, see how a very small. I don't think Amir Khan's got a big issue with him. There clearly isn't. Whatever small issue there is, you see when the guy's interviewing you, he's just giving his crowd masala. He wants views. How's he gonna get views? So you running your own uncle down. He could be a chore. Your own uncle could be the worst chore in the world. You, your mom, and your dad know that. You don't do your dirty laundry in public. Me and I could have.
Love that.
I could be beefing with my brothers till we're ready to stab each other's faces, and we won't chat to each other for
no one else needs to.
But you know, the minute we step out the house, and somebody even talks from up there, it's on site. So this is what we've lost. We've lost this. 100%. You know, parda and keeping like People fight, man. Best friends fight.
But this is what TikTokers do, man. They air their own dirty laundry out because they know it's going to get views, and I think they play onto it as well.
So tell you what I've seen people do what upsets me. Like I get DMs saying, "Oh, mashallah, how come you don't put your girls up? You cover their faces. You don't ever put your girls up."
Yeah.
I never would
No,
have
that's
ever
good,
put my
man. But
daughters up.
why are people questioning this, bro?
Because they want to see, they just genuinely would like to see what their girls look like. You have good people on social media as well. But, again, man, I could name 1,000 names to you, but God, they're putting their fucking kids up for likes and views.
For likes, yeah.
How are you looking yourself in the mirror? Because your audience won't clock it. But me and you know, that picture you put up with that little background and the cute cut and the way what are you doing? Sell yourself, do whatever you gotta do yourself to make the money safe. But don't. And someone put their mums up, like, and I put my mum up sometimes, like a little cute mum talk to the Instagram or Juma say something nice, or I'll be like, man, like fully, like I don't know, man.
There's I think one guy that comes to mind, and I've heard it a lot that he does it. Is I think he lives in Dubai, Mo Vlogs, and
he brings his sister on.
Puts his sister on, and he asked her a question. What does someone need to do to go out, take you on a date or something? I'm thinking, bro, come on, man. You're a Muslim, brother.
No, look, the culture we live in, you can have a brother and sister, make a podcast. They don't wear a scarf, safe. They're in bathing suits, safe. Wait. I'm gonna run down that line with this generic audience. You know, the feminists and whoever want to back it. Like, I'm taking your side. There could be a ped with a big daddy and everything and doing the worst of crimes. So this Mo Vlogs and his sister are perfectly fine. They're not doing the worst of crimes. Safe. Wait. What I'm saying to you is, you know, when I was talking to you about the angles of putting it, exploiting a kid is one thing, but it's how you exploit the kid. How we and you can recognize this picture's being taken, that's being taken. The caption has. Do you get where I'm coming from? If you've been on it for so long, you see that. With that was regarding people putting their kids up. What were you talking about?
So with certain influencers, I won't even mention his name, but with certain
boo him. I'm on about my man. I'm talking to you about my man. Watch his YouTubes. Watch the thumbnail. Watch his sister in the swimming pool. Watch the way the camera is zooming in and out of. So you sit here and tell me they're normal people doing their normal vlogs. Safe if they were. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? Look at he knows he only gets views because of his sister. Agla the mukia guy.
But then if you get into that state where you're, I don't know, man, I don't even know what to say.
This is a subject that we don't need to talk about. But like I said, the mind is so polluted and can be so easily polluted that having a minted mind. When I first come on the podcast, I was like, what am I going to talk about? To have a minted mind is like the epicenter of achievement and success is having a minted mind. But how can I sit here and tell the audience, this is how you mint your mind, without sounding like a prick and like, oh, not all the other guests, but majority of guests sit here and give the answers what people want to hear. They've rehearsed this shit for the last week. They'll even come and say, cuz, ask me these questions. What did I say to you? Ask me whatever you want. Put jail in there, mental health in there. I don't give a shit. As long our message comes across real, truthful, and these people who are struggling know that we are struggling with you, but we're not saying it. But we see what you're seeing, we hear what you hear. It's not we're blind like you, like everybody else out there. But essentially, you have to fall into that category because the minute you speak up against it, cancelled. Cancel culture.
Cancel culture. We need to cancel culture. But
that's not going to happen.
Zaff, we're going to call it.
It's been a pleasure, man.
It's been an amazing.
Guess what? It's been a very long time.
This is our longest podcast.
I need to be in Bolton for 6 o'clock, and that's not going to happen.
But so guys, if you want to reach out to Zaff, he's taking on clients. He's building his business, mashallah.
Just Zaff follow us, give us a follow. Keep up with what.
It'll be down in the description anyway. Any last words before we call it a day?
I don't believe in New Year's resolutions, but every year I see people talking about how 2023 is going to be their year. I've not seen that this year.
Yeah, I think
everybody's come to the realistic what life is, and coronavirus put a lot of people in their place what I'm saying to everybody for 2023 is, if you don't write down what you want to achieve, if you just have a thought and you let it go, you'll never achieve it. So write down some of the things you want to achieve this year and make sure you achieve them. If you write down 5 and you achieve 3, it's better than not doing and achieving any of them. Make good intentions, man. Make sure you try travel to Palestine. And I'm not saying that from a Muslim point of view. I'm saying to you as a human being, go and see the people there. Go yourself. Don't send money there because take the money with you, and you'll understand how heavily they're getting taxed and how you have to support them. Because in a year or 2 or 3 or less than that, we won't be able to go.
Yeah.
You know, if it says British but Muslim on your passport, use this time. 2023 is a long year. You're from January to December. Make some plans. Do good stuff. Inspire people. If you're sitting in a shitty part of life, know that there's been parts of life when you've been happy and good, and you just got to get yourself back there. Stay positive. Say good words to people. Don't be a grumpy person and always sad and shit, because that reflects, and people don't want to be around you when you're like that. Smell good, act good, talk good, be good. They sound so simple, but they pay off massively. The amount of guys I meet on a daily basis that stink. One spray of aftershave is sunnah. You know what I mean? Smile, say encouraging words. You make somebody's day, man.
No, I appreciate it.
It's a lot better to walk on this earth. Forget the riches and all of that, as a happier man than a miserable man.
100%. Zaff, it's been a pleasure. Thank you again, man.
I've not been on a podcast for 2 years, as you can clearly see.
No, you can clearly see.
I don't want to leave the studio right now. But we got part 2 coming.
Part 2 coming, inshallah. Again, thanks for your time, people. On to the next one.